Hello, everybody. It is me, Demetra K. And right now I'm sitting here by myself. Donovan allegedly is on his way home. He had a city council meeting for whatever reason. It took place on a Sunday. So he said that he is on his way. We'll see. But in the meantime, you got me because it's my show, right? So anyway, I'd like to say a big giant thank you and welcome to YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. You are the other side of the conversation. Not only are you just viewers, but we do post the link so that you can come on and give us your opinion or ask a question or whatever it is you want to do. So anyway, also the purpose of the Demetra K Show is to promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people with the emphasis on even because we are great people and we can always strive to do better. So today we are going to be kind of sort of talking about the whole, oh, not the whole KeKe Palmer situation, but I want to touch upon it. Then I want to talk about some other things that we could have been talking about, opposed to being all wrapped up into the relationship life of KeKe and Darius. That is her boyfriend in this whole equation. But before I get started, I'd like to acknowledge who's on here. Facts, not feelings. How you doing? Turner Ira, how are you? Walaikum salam to you. And H. McDaniels, how are you doing? You say a good day, everyone. No matter what the topic is, I want to start every video off by saying, Black people, if we want to see change in our community, we must first come together in unity. You better believe it. And Ais, how are you doing? Shalom to you as well. And Mal Olfactor, how are you? Black first indeed. And Masha, oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. And so again, Donovan will be joining me later. He is on his way, so he says. And Jimmy, how you doing? All right, now I don't even know where to begin. Because unless you live under a rock, which is probably a good place to be nowadays, right? Because when you live under a rock, that means you are oblivious to everything that is going on outside of your rock, right? Under your rock is just you and what's going on under that rock. But outside of that rock, there are things like current events, world affairs, those type of things. And sometimes, unfortunately, outside of that rock you may live in, some nonsense takes place. Now, on the thumbnail, you all saw two people, and that was KeKe Palmer, who is an actress, along with her boyfriend, who is also the father of their son, Leotis. And her boyfriend's name is Darius. Well, I guess last week she went to an Usher concert, and I will say I've also saw Usher in Vegas earlier this year, and it is amazing. I just wanted to say that. And he also said to me, I see you, because I was waving to him and he acknowledged me. But anyway, that's not even why I'm here. So she was in our Usher concert with her friends, and she had on an outfit, which I will not show you. I'm sure you guys have seen it. If not, you can go Google it. That was kind of, didn't leave a whole lot to the imagination. You could see her backside. It was a sheer outfit. And she turned around as Usher was singing, I guess, Superstar is the name of the song. He likes to sing to people. He was singing that to her. And she turned around and, showed him what she was working with. And then she gave him a nice hug and, all that other stuff. Well, her boyfriend did not like it. And so he took to his social media and I'm going to paraphrase, basically said, wow, you're a mom, dressed like that or whatever the case is. And then he also went on to say, I'm being called a hater because I'm, basically, I'm paraphrasing, protecting the sanctity of my family, as the head of the household, whatever. I should have a right to speak out against something I don't like in regards to my woman and how she is dressed. And if you live inside the rock, you also escaped all of the back and forth that went on social media. There was a lot of women, I will say, our women that defended KeKe, and they basically said that he shamed her. The words that is being used now was mom shamed her for dressing sexy and called him everything but a child of God, or actually everything but who he really is, right? Which is the father of her child. They called him the help, the babysitter, broke, a non-factor, and just a whole bunch of stuff because he said he didn't like it. Now, I will agree that he should have not maybe went to the internet. But then there's some people said, well, uh, what she did on the internet by embarrassing him, I guess, and calling his manhood into question when she went out and about with that outfit on. And so some people say, well, I think it's okay that he met her disrespect publicly with disrespect, or his concerns publicly, however you want to phrase it. Nevertheless, they kind of went back and forth, scrubbing each other, I guess, or he scrubbed her from his internet. Just a bunch of nonsense. Now, mine just sounds like they're in their young 30s, so they're fairly young. I would like to say right off the top of my head, I don't give a damn about what KeKe and her man are doing. I honestly wish that they would put all that aside and raise their family and forget all what happened, because we don't need any more single baby mamas out there, which is what it sounds like a lot of sisters were advocating for. You don't need him. You got more money than him, and all this other stuff. And I've even seen some say there's nothing wrong with being a single baby mama, when it sounds like Darius is and wants to be a huge part of his son's life. So it's all crazy. But again, I don't really too much give a damn about that, because in the larger scheme of things, they're both doing better off than a lot of us are, right? They just are. But I want to know, why did we allow, those of you guys who live outside that rock, why did we allow that conversation to get so much attention, opposed to a lot of things that could have gotten attention? For example, and I'm gonna put these pictures up for you guys. So this sweet little baby here is 2-year-old Winter Cole Smith. Now, she unfortunately was murdered last week by her mom's boyfriend. His name is Rashid Trice, or Treese. Maybe it's Trice. Rashid Trice. Her mother and him were arguing over money. And the mom said, who, I don't know her name. Doesn't sound like too many people know her name publicly. The mom said that she had to stab him in self-defense. Then he got the knife and stabbed her a couple of times. She survived as she ran out of the house. And this is in Detroit, by the way. Ran out of the house and left her 2 young children. One of them is Winter here. Now, the boyfriend took off with Winter, and they found him, but they did not know where she was. He would not tell them where she was. Well, unfortunately, they did find her lifeless body in a parking lot somewhere in Detroit. So that's something that we should have been talking about, opposed to KeKe and her, drama with her boyfriend, right? Because they'll be okay. At the end of the day, their child, beautiful little boy, he'll be okay. Next, we have Israel Powell. Now, this took place in Memphis, Tennessee. He, along with his older sibling, somehow got out of the house at 1 o'clock in the morning, but they were not reported missing until maybe 4 hours later, around 5 something in the morning. They did find, I believe it was his sister, if I'm not mistaken, 4-year-old sister, found her alive, but they did not know where he was. Now, he was 2. Unfortunately, they did find his body in Jameson Lake, is what it's called. Jameson Lake. They did find him. Now, again, they were not reported missing until hours later, and they were several blocks away from their home. So, of course, a lot of people are saying, okay, and I should say, too, that Pastor Thaddeus Matthews, he did cover this on Friday. But how did they get out of the house? And why didn't you know your children were missing out of the house until hours later, right? So it's something really wonky going on there. So, unfortunately, this poor sweet baby, they did find his body. Okay, the next slide I'm going to show you. Now, you guys may or may not have heard about this. This actually took place in Georgia, Jonesboro, from what I understand, if I'm not mistaken, Georgia. This lady that you see actually is the mother of the child. That is blurred out, thank God. and that child is 9 years old. And for whatever reason, that mother thought it was a good idea to drag her daughter by her hair through a grass field. Now, neighbors, they saw it unfolding and they took video and they uploaded it to TikTok, and they said that abuse with that mother, and she has four children, if I'm not mistaken. She is 27, I think. She has four children rather. They said that it was common, and that particular day they just happened to catch her. But along with dragging her 9-year-old baby through the field, she called her a whole host of names that were not nice, in addition to punching her in her face. Now, she was arrested, obviously, and thank God, right? Now, I could be here forever talking about the things that happened to Black children last week, but I'm not going to be, because I do not want to traumatize you guys any more than necessary, and any more than I am traumatized, because those things are very traumatizing. But so when I think about KeKe Palmer and all of the attention that she received last week due to going to an Usher concert, which I think is innocent enough, going to an Usher concert and her son's father taking issue with it, it was everywhere. I mean, it was on USA Today. It was on Hollywood Unlocked. It was on NBC. I even saw NBC talking about it, basically saying KeKe Palmer was mom shamed by her baby daddy or something like that because she wanted to go to she wore something to a Usher concert, and I'm like, golly, KeKe Palmer and her spat with her son's father got way more attention than these things that I just showed you. Now, I want to know from y'all, how many of y'all heard about the aforementioned cases that I just talked about? Probably a lot of y'all didn't hear about that, but we were inundated with KeKe Palmer's dress. KeKe Palmer's son's father being, disgruntled, and I'm not saying he wasn't right to be disgruntled, but we were, not saying we, I don't mean us, I mean them. We're so engrossed into what they were doing. And of course, we watched KeKe double down on it. And, she came out with these videos about her, glad to be a mama and just nonsense. But also, I take issue with KeKe and Darius, because while y'all were hogging up the internet pipelines with your nonsense, did y'all even know these babies were harmed, or missing, or did you know any of that? And if you knew, did you care? Did you care enough at least to come on the internet and say, okay, wait a minute, I've entertained y'all enough. I'm sure you've been entertained enough, but it is very irresponsible of all of us to be talking about my dress, or the lack thereof, and everything that went on with the Usher concert, opposed to talking about the things that I just mentioned. Let's knock it off and let's focus, right? And so while we will, I'm sure, have the conversation about KeKe and was it right and wrong and who this, blah, 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 we also should remember that there's other things going on in this world, especially in America, that's pertaining to Black people, not even just the things that we do to ourselves, like the things that I mentioned, but the things that are happening to us by the police. We talked about that last Wednesday. The Black woman and her husband that were brutalized by the LA Sheriff Department in Lancaster, California, outside of Winco, because they were accused of stealing a cake, which did not manifest to be true, right? Of course, I could go on and on forever. I'm exhausted, y'all. I'm exhausted because I got up early, and I'm just exhausted of the nonsense that is going on, and I'm exhausted to learn about our precious Black babies being harmed so unnecessarily. So we can have a conversation around all of that. But Donovan has shown up. He's got his muscle tee on. What's going on with you, Donovan?
Sorry I'm late, boss, but my dog ate the homework. My wife was fussing at me that I lost my car keys, or my bike keys, whatever you want to call it. I don't mean to be joking, but this is like a lot of serious topics out here. And I'll get to the KeKe Palmer thing in my opinion on that. But I want to say, as I came into the chat, I hit that like button. You want to know why? It's free. And you know how I am about stuff that is free. For me, it just tastes better. It makes me seem like I'm doing something. But let me give you guys the tea of why I was late. My city called a special city council meeting on a Sunday. A Sunday. Now, this is by Democrats. Okay? Why would you call a city council meeting, especially when the city council is on recess for the summer, unless you're trying to jam something through that you don't want the people to know anything about? This is what we mean when we say, you live in a city, you got to know what's going on in that city. Politics is local. That's what affects you directly, okay? So long story short, I'm going to put it up later on when I do my podcast for my city a little bit. Long story short, this was a case about $10 million of a grant. That's still in the application process. So I show up and, I'm neither here nor there, but I kind of have an idea of what's going on. And immediately the grant has to do with like youth, giving our youth homelessness and things like this. So when I got there to speak real quick, just give me some grace, please, you guys.
Quickly.
I want you guys to understand the delusion in the Black community. Okay, I want you to understand. They're talking about giving $10 million, if applicable, to give homeless youth. That doesn't even make sense. How is there such thing as a homeless youth? Where are the parents? Personal responsibility. So one of the girls got up and she says, yes, I just came here from LA. There's no homelessness. There's no vouchers, this, that. And I'm a single mom. The only people I ever see come to my city council meeting and brag about their single mothers are young Black women, okay? And there's nothing wrong with being a single mother, but you're not even a resident of the city and you're demanding resources and we can't get certain stuff done. So what they try to do is they try to flip it on us older people who've been here a while. I'm an elder in my city. I was here before the city existed. And they try to flip it to make it seem like we're against this or we're against that. No, we're against people who haven't put skin in the game, taking resources away so that we could build. And they always compare, and Demetria will tell you guys this, they compare Moreno Valley, where I live, to Riverside, where Demetria used to live, or to LA, or to San Bernardino. Now, what's the difference between my city and those cities? My city's only 39 years old. Those other cities are over 100 years old. So you're comparing apples and oranges when it comes to resources and how it's allocated in a city that's growing. My city is still in infancy. But you've got these people that are coming there, taking away resources that we technically don't have. We still don't have a youth center. We don't have these things. So anyway, so that's what was happening and why I was late. And this is what I tell you guys. You guys might not think it's important to show up to your city council meetings or to tune in to your city council meetings. You better tune in because they're going to take resources, your tax dollars, and use it for the benefit of other people, okay? Other people. So when I got up there to talk, I'm not all that, and you guys know I'm not all that. But the point is, I am a city elder, and a few of us that have been here for a while, we do get a form of respect because we know what we're talking about. Doesn't mean I get everything, every time I say something, I get everything I want. That doesn't happen. But I put the facts out there. I'm not against single motherhood, but when I was at the podium, I said, where's the personal responsibility? There were so many young Black people at this meeting at 12 o'clock. The one thing I asked them is, I've been fighting for a youth center since 1977 when I was 7 years old. Where were you guys at? You can get anything you want at a city council meeting if you show up. When the Hispanics want something and the Asians want something, they show up every meeting until it's done. Demetria, when we show up, it's over once the project has been approved and the hollering and the screaming hasn't been finished. And so I was telling the youth, I'm happy you're here. You're delusional in your mind state because the sad thing is most of the people think that it was about $10 million that was going to be voted away. That was not it. We're in the application process. And unfortunately, a lot of us show up. When we do show up, we don't even know what the issues are. So that's my story. I'm going to tell you guys, local politics matter. If you are living in an area that is a hellhole bent, I will bet it's run by a Democrat.
Yes, indeed. And we can get into that a little bit later. So, hello to everybody that came on here. So, of course, we are talking about things that we should have been talking about in regards to the situation that happened with KeKe Palmer. Of course, we can have that conversation. Your opinions on it all are welcome. Elton, how you doing? Says a lot of people I have spoken to had no idea about the 93-year-old lady fighting for her land in Hilton, South Carolina. I turned them onto this platform and other new Black media. I always recommend you first. I love and appreciate you for that. Yeah, a lot of people don't know about Josephine Wright, 93-year-old woman in Hilton, South Carolina, which is also known as Gullah Geechee land. She has had that land in her family. Actually, it was her husband's family since the Civil War, where they escaped to freedom. Uh, and now a white organization, I forget the name of it, but anyway, Bailey Point Investments or something. They are trying to build 147 houses around and on her property, and they're trying to take it from her by saying stuff like, "Oh, she doesn't own it," or "She's encroaching on our property," just doing the most. But again, Tyler Perry, Kyrie Irving, and a couple of other people have gotten involved and donated money and stuff to help her fight white supremacy, basically trying to take her land. So, but you're right. People should know about that. Even in 2023, Black people are still fighting to keep their land. Like, what the hell, right? All right. So let me skip down a little bit. Sonji, I'm sorry, how you doing? Says, I thought KeKe had more class than that. You know, I think that she used to. From what I'm seeing, and I don't know KeKe, but it looks like maybe she's letting little the internet get to her head, and of course she's gained a little weight. So they're saying she's got this mom body now. She's filled out a little bit more. So some people are saying maybe she's feeling herself. But yeah, she seemed like she used to have a little bit more class, be a little bit more on the conservative side. But then again, I don't really follow KeKe, but I remember her from Aquila and the Bee. So she's come a long way. Let's see here. LT says, I always recommend you first, Demetria and Brother Donovan, especially to any Black woman that I come across, because it is very well balanced and informative podcast. I try to get the word out. I really do love you for that. Andre says, or the pregnant sister body slammed by the race soldiers. Yes, that happened in May, and it's now coming to light in Baton Rouge, I think it was, Louisiana, where a pregnant Black woman was slammed to the ground by a police officer asking for her ID. And she says, it wasn't that I wasn't trying to follow orders, but I was already scared because he was all, hyped up. I didn't want to reach for something, and God forbid he shoot me, talking about, oh, she was reaching for, something she wasn't supposed to be. But yeah, you have that going on. I mean, and y'all please throw them in the comment section. I saw somebody else mention BRICS, and that France is thinking about joining BRICS, the alliance that is trying to disassociate from the American dollar by creating its own currency. So there's a lot of other countries that are trying to join BRICS, and that's huge, right? People should know about that. And Edna, how you doing? Says, I don't entertain no celebrity, period, right? Because they ain't entertaining us, right? Thank y'all so much for hitting the like button. King of Sorrows, how you doing? Says, I tend to stay away from the news. I don't want to lose my humanity and just be numb to everything I see. I totally agree with you. Olivia, how you doing? Shalom to you as well. And Facts Not Feeling says, Dems are slick. They do it on Sunday, so less people come to the meeting. So you're talking about Donovan's situation. And Moni, once again, happy birthday to you. I know it's your birthday month. It says, it said, I think it meant Demetria. This little baby wasn't in the parking lot. Is strangled to death and left in the alley. Let's be clear, on the east side. He did it to get even with the mother, but didn't kill his own. So yeah, so it sounds like the other child that was there belonged to him, but definitely he did that to get back at the mother, and wouldn't tell where she was at all. They couldn't get anything out of him. New Era Detroit. That's how I learned about the story. They were like, let him out so we can deal with him, and they took issue with everybody talking about KeKe and her situation, opposed to talking about what happened to that precious little baby there at the hands of her mom's boyfriend. I should also say that sounds like the Winter's father, that's the little girl, he was a athlete at somewhere in Tennessee. Don't mistake me. I think he's a sophomore, if I'm not mistaken, playing for a basketball team. And obviously he had to fly in to deal with that, and hear the unfortunate news that his daughter was murdered by her mom's boyfriend, baby daddy, whoever he was. So, and Shaniqua, how are you doing today? El Boogie, what's going on with you? I hope you are doing well. And Sean, you say our people don't go to city council meetings, then got the nerve to cry about injustices. Yeah, we need to start showing up more often. Hello, Frank. How are you doing today? Maxwell, what's going on with you? And OG says, and how you doing, by the way, says if he hadn't said anything, people would have still attacked him for not saying something. And that's kind of where I'm at with it, with the whole Darius thing, KeKe. I kind of believe he said something because I think he maybe felt like his manhood was in question. Like, I don't co-sign what she's doing. I'm not with it. I don't want people to think I'm a punk per se, like I'm just going along with it. So I think I need to say something. That's kind of where the feeling that I have why he maybe said something about it. Because other times too, and Tisha, and how you doing, by the way, she says, well, he recorded a video of her and he did shaking her behind in a cat suit not too long ago. So some people are saying, well, why did he have a problem with that? And didn't have a problem with that, but had a problem with her going out dressed the way she was to go see Usher. Hello, Jan Michael. How are you doing? We are glad that you're here. Monet, what's going on with you? All right, let's see. Let me skip on down. And Facts Not Feelings says, if I was president, single motherhood would be illegal, and a man that does not have a job or minimum monthly income would be illegal. He says, I would provide free training so all able men must work. Yes, but unfortunately, especially in this situation, it seems like it's kind of being championed, being a single mom. It's no fun, I don't even know why she would even be cool with that. It is our pleasure, Pamela.
You know what the funny thing is about the KeKe Palmer thing, and this is just my thing. Number one, you notice last I saw, she didn't defend her man and say, yes, I thank you guys for your support and all this other stuff, but this is my man, the father of my child. I haven't seen her to defend her man as from where I picked up at. And the problem is, to me, she's going to let a lot of these women's opinions that probably don't have men themselves make her lose hers. You know what I mean? That's just my opinion on it. What do you think?
Yeah, and Jason, how you doing? If I didn't already say that, he said, "What's going on in Tulsa with those elderly Black women?" So yeah, a ruling came out from the courts there in Tulsa, Oklahoma, that the survivors of the Tulsa massacre are not entitled to any reparations or compensation or anything. Now, mind you, those people are well into their hundreds, and it was a white woman, the judge decided y'all not entitled to anything. So that's something we should know about. That they are, and there's what's his name, Ryan Waters of Oklahoma. He's some sort of superintendent there. He was basically like, race had nothing to do with the Tulsa massacre. And it's like, huh? But of course, they're trying to deny it because they don't want to have to pay for what they people did to us, right? And so in regards to KeKe not defending her man, how you doing, LS? KeKe not defending her man, yeah, I think she should say something. I think if she does say something, she should say, okay, y'all, there's nothing to see here. Go back to what you were doing. You've been entertained enough. We're going to go back to what we were doing. But, I would hate to think that they are no longer together due to, what happened, and a lot of people egging it on. It was sad to see a lot of people, as I said, a lot of sisters and men who want to be sisters, encouraging her to get rid of him. Is like, and then do what? I don't care how much money you got. It's not fun being a single mama. It'd be easier to have the daddy there with you, But what happened to Black love? We gonna, raise a strong family and all that. Whatever happened to all of that? But y'all encouraging that? I don't think so.
We're happening to working it out. Yeah, you're gonna fall, but get back up and work through it. Ain't one of us. If you ask your grandparents, especially our generation, Demetra. By the way, Demetra is on the low end of the X generation. What are you, 35, 30, Demetra's. But if you ask our grandparents, ask your grandmother about your grandfather, and I guarantee she will say, well, there was one time, he slipped up and thought he could be something. Everybody's got a story like that. I'm not saying everybody in general, but you guys know what I'm talking about.
Got you. Facts Not Feelings, he says it's a big mistake to make France a part of BRICS. Yeah, they're kind of part of the West, right? So I agree. I think they need to keep it with everybody else and leave them out of it. And I guess I need to figure out why they want to join, right? Samuel, how you doing? I see your comment. No, he's just, happy to be here. Okay, let's see. Moving right along. Miss Corliss, how are you doing? It says the black woman who was slammed in the Winco parking lot in Lancaster. Yeah, we talked about that last week. And I know you're also from Lancaster. My father lives in Lancaster, and I've been to that Winco a few times. And so it's pretty scary to think that you could be accused of shoplifting and have that happen to you. And those people look like they were, at least in their 60s, being slammed to the ground. And then her husband was like, she's got cancer. And the guy, the pig, was like, I don't care, and also he pepper sprayed her. So let's see. I'm going to open up the link in just a minute. Miss Sweet Talks, how you doing? And Tisha said, that's horrible. These folks are too emotional. I'm so glad I have my children with one man, one union. Yeah, that's kind of the downfall. You inviting people around your children that you don't know. I just, as far as the demon that did that to the 2-year-old baby, I don't think that was the first time he did something crazy. So it's like, why would you stay and continue to have your babies around somebody that unstable, right? So that's a conversation we're going to have as well. Like, when do we say, all right, that I am raising these children without a father in the home? I'm going to hold off on bringing one in until further notice, right? Until somebody shows up that says that they want to be my husband and is worthy of being that and being around my children. We need to have that conversation. Sean, you say rip to the little girl. The issues I got with the mom is she put her kids in danger after stabbing him. I hope his life is hell. Yeah, and he sounds like he will be eligible for the death penalty. Yeah, but she ran up out of there without her children. And maybe she thought, okay, he's not going to harm the children. But I think I surely would have snatched my babies on the way out. At least I would have tried to anyway. And Metaphorist, how are you doing? You say, Osayo, y'all, I hope I said that right. It says all KeKe wanted was her light skin, good hair, baby daddy, and now she's out. Wow. Okay. Miss Sweet Talk says all a distraction from all of these bills being passed. Exactly. Like, what bills are we not seeing that are being passed? And let's see. Facts and Feelings says that dude better leave KeKe Palmer before she destroys him. I hope that's not the case. And Sonji, you said, come on, a cat suit compared to wearing your whole butt out is totally different situations. So you're saying it basically people trying to say, well, he filmed her in a cat suit is not as bad as her, wearing the sheer dress that she wore. All right. So let me see. Easy, how are you? You says, D, what did she think was going to happen at a concert? Asked out. I mean, I agree with you. I'm just one of those people. I just feel like when you become a certain age and you have children and you have a man, certain things you shouldn't even think about doing those type of things. And my thing is this. I would imagine that she knew he wasn't happy. I don't know if he saw the dress. Maybe she was already out with her friends. And he happened to see the dress too on the internet. I don't know. And also she was kind of going on and on about Usher in her stories. She had a video of him with no shirt on, and she's, all googly eyed and doing the most over that. So that probably bothered him too. But I just think there's certain things you shouldn't do anymore. And I question, why do you want to do those things? Especially you got a man and a baby. Like, what are we doing here? Maxwell says they ruled on it with prejudice, so the claim is over. Yes, so they can no longer, they being the survivors of the Tulsa massacre, can no longer sue. They're saying it's over. And Tisha says he filmed her in catsuits, bras and panties, and the like. Donovan KeKe has always been tight-lipped about her personal life. I think she's not adding gas to the fire. And she also said too on the internet a couple times, even recently, she's never going to discuss her relationship in the public. But she has gone on after this happened, post some videos. If you're going to act up, then I'm going to link up, and I'm Stevie Wonder to the BS. Which if I was Stevie, I'd be like, wait a minute, what I got to do with this? That's kind of disrespectful too. Stevie Wonder mean I'm blind to it. Like, I don't see all this nonsense going on now. She's got merch, t-shirts, and all those kind of things. So she has fueled the fire just a little bit.
Didn't Cardi B say something similar to that? I can get me another rich man, whatever deals, and then Offset or whoever she's married to get the hell on then? Didn't he say that?
I don't know if he said that. I'm sure she probably could get her another rich man, but again, more celebrity nonsense. Cardi B and Offset gonna be all right at the end of the day. And Monet says, "Wait, what? The elderly survivors of Tulsa are not entitled to reparations? The F? Yep. Some other stuff we negated to talk about while we were discussing KeKe's attire.
Now, think about this. If you're outraged by that, shouldn't the so-called black leaders be outraged by it? Why? Where's the black congressional? I mean, this is outrageous, right? That's what I'm saying. We don't hold our elected servants to any accountability on our behalf, which is why we put them there. It's crazy. If the Black Caucus says, you know what? Ain't happening. We're not voting anymore until we get this, and this. Shit would start moving. You had 4 Asian Pacific representatives. 2 of them were senators and 2 of them were in the House of Representatives. And they got an Asian crime bill because the 2 Asian senators said, if we don't get what we want, Joe Biden, none of your legislation is going to go through. And guess what? They got a bill on his desk within a week or 2.
And again, it actually goes a little bit deeper than that. I don't blame those representatives for not going and talking about anything for us. I blame us for keep putting them in office to go and talk. Don't talk about us and go help everybody else. So it's not them, it's us. At some point in time, we as Black people who vote, we need to say, okay, Maxine, or whoever else, you ain't cutting it no more. You haven't been cutting it for years. And so you're not going to Washington on our vote. We're not voting you in. We're going to look at somebody else who is truly going to go and do that, right? So the Asian community, they hold their people accountable. They know that'll be a price to pay for not going and doing their bidding. So that's kind of where we differ. And Dark Titan, how are you doing? Powerful info. I want to address this. And I used to say KeKe is a single mother because she's not married. That is true. She's a single mother. She's not married. And I'm not saying this about you, but why are people putting more emphasis on her not being married than more emphasis on her allowing him to drop his seed in her and she's not married? You know what I'm saying? It's like, you talking about, oh, they're not married. He can't tell her what to do and this, that, the other, blah, 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 blah. But it's like, he sure could tell her what to do when he was impregnating her. So how does that jive? How does any of that make any sense? Powerful Empress. You say, I feel he should have said something to her before she left or waited until she got back home. He shouldn't have blasted her out in public like that. And I agree with you. I think certain things should not have been done publicly. I think he should have called her or whatever the case is. Say, I don't like it or whatever. But I think the other side of that is he was like, nah, I'm letting these people know I ain't no punk. And I'm not saying this, but some people might say, I'm not no Russell Wilson. That y'all seen Sierra go out there doing what she wants, and maybe he wanted to let people know I ain't him. I'm thinking, Big Hair, how are you doing? He says, I'm sorry, but he was just jealous of Usher. He should have just talked to her in private. And that could have been the case too. I could see a man being jealous of Usher. Usher puts on a hell of a show. Like I said, I was there in February. And I had the privilege of being at that show, and he puts on a hell of a show. And he's, and it's not just the women; it could be anybody. Like when I was there, it was Chris Tucker. Chris Tucker was sitting in there, and and he went up to him, and they was, hey, how you doing, type of thing. So it's just whoever happens to be sitting in that seat, I think. And that night it was KeKe. Nathan, how are you doing? It says, you're right, Donovan, on KeKe. Also, she doubled down by making a TikTok video. Yes, she did. Black America, how you doing? It says, we don't have a community. Yep, you're absolutely right. And Aisha says, KeKe should tell people to mind their business. I think she should too. But she kind of did by saying, I will never discuss my relationship publicly. But then she kind of, pokes the bear a little bit. Maxwell says, we all know bricks will fail eventually, but good luck to them. You think so? Brandon, how are you doing? And Olivia says, true feminism and the BS with it, it will cause her to lose her baby daddy and a potential husband. Yeah. What happened to the time? Y'all remember the Betty Wright song? She says, and I'm paraphrasing because I don't know the lyrics, but she says, y'all remember when people used to get together, cook a little food and get together and they knew y'all was having, you and Mr. Charlie was having some trouble. Y'all would get together, try to keep y'all together. What happened to that? What happened to, the people on the internet or whatever saying, y'all knock it off. Y'all ain't got no real problems. Y'all go home, Figure it out. We don't want to hear about it. Y'all go in. We got too many other, black single mamas. We got too many children being raised without the father in the home in our community, Black America. Y'all gonna work it out. I was very appalled to see so many, especially sisters, big upping what happened to her, and you don't need him. It's like, come on, man, really? And let's see here. Dark Titan says TikTok is very toxic femininity. On some black male, female TikTokers live stream had black feminists support KeKe. Yeah, I'm not on TikTok a whole lot. I'll post a video here and there, but then, I don't really stay on there much. Sammy says, what if a man is rich and don't need to work? Well, God bless him. Is he single? I'm just playing. Bama boy, how you doing? He says, KeKe been for the streets. Dude better run. Wow. I don't know if she's been for the streets. Hopefully she's not going there. But if KeKe is watching this, I don't think she is. I just want to say it's rough out there in them streets. You don't want to be out there. Them dating streets is wicked. You got you a man, he loves you. Go on and work that out. You ain't trying to be out there. I'm telling you, which is why I ain't out there. It's rough. I'm scared.
I fuss at Demetra all the time when the show is over and we talk about things like that. I'm like, look, I know your bait's a little old. The rabbit is on the coat, but you can still throw it out there and pull what you can pull, girl.
I don't have a problem pulling. I just don't want to right now. Okay, I'm cool doing me. I'm good. Listen, the rabbit it's still gonna be fresh to death when that time comes. And I exercise every day. I was on my cycle, not my cycle, but my bike, because I don't have that no more. My bike. And I'm going at it, got my earphones on, and the seat falls off. And y'all ever heard of being corn dogged? It's like I was corn dogged by the little pole. When the
but the question is, did you get off of the corn dog?
It didn't tickle, okay? It wasn't like, I wish I would have taken the seat off sooner. It wasn't like that. Now, mind you, when the seat fell off, my knees, both of them, and my feet are in the stirrups of the thing. My knees buckled, and I'm holding on for dear life. I'm like, what the? I fixed it nevertheless, but I'll be all right in a couple of years as well. Okay. Don, how you doing? It says fighting injustice on Hilton Head Island is the GoFundMe. Yes, so there is a GoFundMe for Josephine Wright, the 93-year-old who is fighting the developers that are trying to steal her land to help her keep it. And to me, I'm like, why doesn't the city tell the developer, go away, leave her alone? It doesn't belong to you. Because a lot of times the cities are complicit in eminent domaining that land away from Black people because they take a bag from the developers and they say, they say these in the city council meetings behind closed doors. We'll get the land and she'll settle for something. And she says, mind you, they're trying to give her like $39,000 for that land. It's like, huh? So anyway, and Aisha says, my parents are married. Marriage is honorable. Yes, it is. We should be striving to be married. And Miss Sweet Talk says the whole event and behavior was disrespectful. Marshawn, how are you doing? Says, just coming in. Not sure what I missed, but hey, guys, from Disney Diva. You're right on time. Bama Boy, he says, what man in his right mind going to marry a woman that carries herself like that? You know what? I asked the same thing. But sometimes, that's the things that be getting y'all hooked. You see a woman out there dressed like that, and I don't know. I don't want to say a woman that's dressed like that is a bad woman. I think that she lacks discretion. But a lot of y'all be like, I like that. And then y'all, shut up. I ain't going to say nothing. I'm going to put this link up. Let me address those that have not seen so I can put this link up. Facts Not Feelings says, after affirmative action ruling, Wang Yi, foreign policy chief in China, says Asians cannot become Europeans or Americans, even if we dye our hair white or have surgery to straighten our noses, right? And because they looking at it over there like they done lost their minds over there in America, trying to assimilate to something they'll never be. All right. Nathan says, hey, Demetra, did you hear how the Tulsa massacre survivors case was thrown out by a suspected white supremacist woman? It was a judge. Yep. This country makes me so angry. Yes, I did hear that. Joseph, how you doing? Says there's something strange going on affecting people's mental health. Could it be the jab or all these 5G towers? You know what is so funny? We ain't heard nothing about the 5G towers since the pandemic. Remember, they was talking about the 5G towers are supposed to be harming people, and a bat got stung by a 5G tower, and it caused the coronavirus. It was just like a whole lot of stuff going on. But I mean, it could be. But the fact that we're seeing a lot of parents harming their children, something is going on. There's a lack of coping skills, and we need to figure out why. Easy says, I think it was a attention grab for KeKe. She's not happy. That could be true. Big Hair says they are boule. They don't care about us. True. L Boogie says the CBC need to go immediately. And IE says she was not his wife, so she's acting out. Yeah, but do you ever want to become one? I don't know. Yep, Big Hair, we should hold our vote until we can find something worth voting for. Our teacher says one of the survivors, Miss Viola, has released a book. Yep, Mahogany Books in DC has it for pre-order. Hop over there and buy it. And it's something about don't let them forget my story or something like that. Yes, she does have a book. Joanne, how are you doing? It says Donovan, regarding the city council meetings, we had meetings with LA City Council meetings and ran several programs for the underprivileged. So what if she hasn't lived there as long as you? So she's saying basically, so what?
Yeah, well, the thing is, see, the problem, and I answered it in the comments, the problem with that is this: you got to understand, and Dimitri will tell you, LA is 200 years old. Riverside's over 100 years old. San Bernardino's 200 years old. My city's only 39 years old. So LA could take $20 billion and throw it at the homeless problem and never solve it. We don't have those type of resources. Yes, she could come to us for a day, but the point is, when you as a new person come to the city and haven't really established yourself in the city, but you're demanding resources immediately, that takes away from the city. That would be like me going to a brand new city and saying, hey, I ain't got a house, give me one. That's not going to happen. I haven't lived there long enough to really, establish what it is I need to establish. Nobody's saying that the people don't need help. That isn't what we're saying. But what's happening is you've got all of these mostly Black people that can't afford and have been gentrified out of LA have come toward my city where we're at. We're known as LA West or East. I'm sorry, LA East, because it's a little bit cheaper to live out here. But even as cheap as we are to live out here, it's still more expensive. And because they're taking those resources, we're putting people up in hotels and stuff like that. But when you're talking thousands upon thousands of people that need resources that we don't have, you're going to have a problem.
Yes, indeed. And hello to everybody that came on here. Let me catch up because I am behind.
Oh, you're slipping. If you start falling behind the comments, you're slipping.
Yeah, that's going to happen. Jeff, how you doing? It says Auntie Dimitri K. Buenos tardes. ¿Cómo está? Ha ha ha. I'm joking. What's up? Donovan, what's up? Looking like you in the DR Columbia. Ha ha ha. No, he ain't. He's in, in the States. Well, how you doing nevertheless? Legacy, Tier Strategies, how are you doing? And let's see, I just want to acknowledge everybody. And then I'm going to put the link up so y'all can come on here and speak your mind. Facts Not Feelings says KeKe humiliated him. She will lead other men to challenge him in her presence. Men never accept this kind of insubordination from your woman. She will get you deleted by some simp she entertains. Oh, Lord, have mercy. Stanley, how are you doing? Long time no see. Legacy, you say Jonah Hill getting pushed back for creating guidelines for his ex-girlfriend. Feminism running wild and on chain. Yes, sounds like she's accusing him. He's an actor. Accusing him of being abusive to her, I guess, after they broke up. I don't know the details of that, but yeah, it sounds it's weird out there. Marshawn says, I'm still in the single pool one day, shaking my head, but waiting on God, I guess. Yeah, that is nice to wait on God, yeah, it's nice. Didn't Sierra say a prayer or something? The Lord, bring me Russell Wilson. Facts Not Feelings says city workers are often same ethnicity of the developers down there, and they take bribes. You better believe it. All right, so I'll move on down so I can put the link
we don't say bribes, we say white envelopes, because the developers get a little sensitive when you outright call them corrupt.
Okay, so I'm looking at Marshawn. Okay, it says it's pronounced Marshawn or Marshan. It said it's like saying Mark. I was named after my dad. Laugh out loud. So Marshan or Marshawn. I've been saying Marshawn. I'm gonna call you the
Just
Disney
say
Diva.
Disney Diva. That's what I
Disney
say.
Diva.
Disney Diva.
Hello, Thunder. How are you today? All right. I'm just going down, going down. I'm going down. Um, I know y'all didn't enjoy that, but that's okay. Let's see here. I saw somebody. Tammy Love, how you doing? It says demons have been released from the CERN. Oh, do tell. Samuel, how you doing? It says I think the Congressional Black Caucus is boule. Yeah. Brother Samuels, how you doing today? And Easy, you say developer developer tied to politics in that town. They're trying to strong arm through eminent domain. I'm thankful that Tyler is on her side along with others. Otherwise, they would take her land. Yeah, and I've had my issues with Tyler Perry, but that the seeing stuff, and admittedly, Tyler does do a lot to help people. So that's why Tyler has my respect, because he really is out there putting a lot of money where his mouth is by helping everyday people, whether it's giving them jobs, building homes, and whatever. So he's out there doing the work. So, big ups to Tyler Perry. Thandi says, as bad as everything has gotten, I'm still inclined to believe that we somehow slipped into a parallel universe. Too much is going on nowadays. I said that. I think we are in a bizarro world where everything is upside down, Shaniqua, you say, honestly, some parents is harming their children because they're not healed and or not have dealt with the issues and trauma in them they endured as kids. They are not healed themselves. I totally agree with you.
Totally agree, Shaniqua. But wouldn't you say this is the problem though? And I put it in the chat when I answered you. Isn't the problem that we're having children that are having children? I think that's the biggest problem. If you don't have enough life experience to deal with what comes with having another baby, much less, you're so young that it's already been indoctrinated in your head not to have a husband or a wife. You got to go to college. Your life is just beginning, but you're still doing adult things,
And I will say this too. There's a lot of people who had children young, but they did not and do not harm their children. So there's definitely something going on. Obviously, there's a lot of people who, let's just call it what it is. They out there having sex and forget that sex, the purpose of it is to procreate. Yeah, I know you're hanging from the chandeliers and you're doing some funky stuff with sex. But at the end of the day, it's to have babies, which baffles me when people get pregnant or get somebody pregnant. Oh, my God. Boy, you were saying, oh, my God, when you was doing it. And now you're saying it after the fact when you should have been saying, oh, God, should I be doing this? See what I'm saying? There's a difference. So let me put this link in the comment section. If you guys want to comment, the link will be on YouTube. I ask that if I don't know who you are already, and you have your face blacked out as a picture up instead of who you are, please show me your face before I bring you up. Also, and I cannot stress this enough, be brief in your commentary. We love you. We really do love you. But other people need to come up here and ask their question or, say what they got to say. So we don't need history lessons. We don't need what happened was, unless it's, very insightful. Not saying that you're not going to be insightful, but y'all know what I'm saying. And we don't get on the mic and, okay, those of y'all been to church, right? I'm gonna do what they used to say up in the church. You come up here at somebody's funeral or testimony, 2 minutes. No more than 2 minutes. Give your commentary or whatever you got to say, 2 minutes or less. I love you, though. All right, so the comment is, the link is in there. If y'all want to come up and speak about something that we've talked about or it's something else that we haven't talked about, please feel free to do that. I'm waiting on you. And Jeff, you say, who waiting on God? Get your passports. Ha, ha, ha. God help those who help themselves. And that's kind of where I was going with it when I didn't say anything. But I do believe that we should rely on God for wisdom as well to help bring us somebody that is going to be for us, right? And as Donovan says, sometimes you got to throw your little bait out there. Hey, how you doing? Good looking. We do know that it is improper for women to proposition men. I don't care what y'all say. I am not one of these modern day people that think, oh, well, it's a new age. Women should go on out there and jump in a man inbox. You know, throw underwear in his inbox and talk about, I'm going to take you out. Or let's go out. And I ain't one of them. But I do believe a woman could, you know, hey, how you doing? Oh, yeah, I'm doing good. You all right? Oh, okay. Is it warm enough for you out there? You know, something like that.
Well, the thing is, you know, I mean, who are we as men not to encourage women to go after what they want? If you see that man and that's what you want, you go after that man. Thus, you have a lot of women that go after the so-called thug in the neighborhood, and then they get caught up because they're not protecting themselves or insisting that he put on some protection. I mean, you know, we get in this debate about Pookie and Ray Ray. The bottom line is these are the women these young girls want. You can't make them not want what they don't want. It's just bottom line. I'm past that debate now. These are the guys that these young women want.
And I'm sorry, say that again, because I'm sorry, I was in the comments.
Well, what I was saying is, you know, in regards to men, like trying to tell women that they shouldn't go after what they want. They should. You know, the debate of Ray Ray and Pookie, these are the type of men these young girls want. Of course, they get caught up in all this other stuff later on, and they realize, oh man, I shouldn't have done that from inexperience. But they're going to go after those type of guys that are dangerous and got a little edge to them. I mean, that's human choice, you know.
I mean, yeah, you know, there's some women out there that like a man that's a little rough or a lot rough around the edges, but can we also teach our boys not to be rough around the edges? There's a concept.
No, absolutely, absolutely. But you know, let's say we teach all the boys. There's always going to be a group that is going to be little. Let's say the 10%, whatever. I mean, women are going to go after what they like. People are going to go after what they like.
Got you. No, I was not Kojic at all. I was in a non-denominational church. And yeah, and I've been, you know, churches where they, or funerals rather, they don't come up here and tell us all the way back from 1972 when y'all first met in kindergarten and how you sure gonna miss them, and then you go through all the decades of all the things y'all used to do in the park. Listen, come up here and say, Gloda Dean was my home girl. I'ma love and I'm gonna miss her dearly. R.I.P. to her. And it's so hard to say goodbye. The end. You see what I'm saying? I felt that. Like if I heard somebody say that, I would have felt that. Okay, so let's see here. Big Hair says, I need a husband, Donovan. Well, what's going on here? Facts My Feelings says, I can't get on the mic. I got this baritone voice, and I may start talking to Demetra as opposed to sticking to the subject. Come on, I want to
Wait a minute. Demetra is a big fan of Barry White. Go ahead and get it done, brother. Go ahead.
Come on, I want to hear how you sound. Hello. You know, I got a baritone voice, and you call me at the right time in the morning. Hello. He'd be like, sir, is Demetra there? It's me. And Tammy Love, he says, I don't believe in run after a man. No, it's out of order for a woman to pursue a man. Like I said, you could throw choosing signals and all of that, but you know, the chasing a man, I would never. I don't care how fine he is. He would never have me run behind him. I'm not. And Corley says, Donovan, no, sir, stop it. Y'all come on. What? Click the link. I put it up again right there. It's on YouTube. Click the link. I want to hear your lovely voices. And Marshawn, Disney Diva, he says, just because it's on my mind, people say my name wrong at work. I hardly say nothing, and most time I do, but I try to correct them when I can. I know you don't have to read this. Oh, I read it. You know what, though? People mispronounce my name all the time. I'm so used to it. I don't care because I know my name. I've been Demetria, Demetris, you name it. People, it's weird that people rarely call me Demetra, and I'm like, me, try. Y'all want to know something crazy too? Both of my grandmamas call me Demetrius. Of course, I wouldn't dare correct them. Too tall. Can I see your face? Too tall. Going once. Going twice. 3 times a lady. Let me see your face before I bring you up. Hold on. I can see who this is. Let's see. Nope, I don't know who Too Tall is, so I need to see your face before you come up to the big screen. Brother Reggie, what's going on with you? Nice to see you here. Facts Not Feeling says, if I was president, when I'm done with Pookie and Ray Ray, no woman will want them. Trust me. Yeah, Pookie and Ray Ray need to be taught to straighten up and fly right. Just unpookify yourself, if that's a thing. I don't know. Miss Sweet Talk says the college men act like they're better than everyone, so we go for the thugs. That's such a weird dichotomy. The college guys that think they're too good, opposed to the thugs, is like, is there any in between? Is there somebody in between?
You got guys like me that I could be thuggish, but I'm L7 all the way. I think L7 would be in between. L7.
Yeah, when you get older, you appreciate those L7s. Those L7s, they usually got retirement coming in, house paid off. They got a couple of vehicles. You can sit at home under the air conditioning. Talking about, baby, where we going? Where's our next trip? Should I dust off my passport? Yes, honey. The L7s, they afford you those things, right? Of course, in order to get with an L7, you gotta have your stuff together too. Yeah,
I get tired of coming in my house late in the afternoon and I see the damn animals enjoying the AC that I pay for.
Okay. Too Tall, I need to see your face. I'm sorry. And I can't, unless it's dark where you are, I can't see your face. Dusty Hotep. He says, now here we go with the Umar garbage. I'm not raising Pookie's kids anymore. That's not an option. I don't think he said to raise the kids. I think he said to help mentor. Like if you were at a boys and girls club or something like that. Was it Black Men of America, whatever it is, where the 100 Black men, they mentor boys and stuff all the time. So I don't think he necessarily said go raise the kids, but be an influence in their life. I think that's kind of where he was going with that. Cora, let's just say these boys are real feminine and not around the edges. Oh Lord, the whole body. Tisha, he says, Dr. Umar Johnson asked, why are there Pookie and Ray Rays? He placed that responsibility square in the laps of men. And I thought it was a good question. I honestly, I guess I'm kind of having a hard time as to why people had a hard time with what Umar was saying. I don't think he said anything that was that was too bad, because I even hate to go down this avenue. The guys was talking about masculine women. Now I'm reading this book. I don't have it in here. Well, actually, I'm kind of done with it. It's called The Way of the Sacred Man. And he says men, and he wrote it for men. So it's not me. He's saying men, when you behave in a feminine manner, then your wife or your girlfriend is going to behave the opposite way of you. So she is going to probably behave more masculine because she sees there's a need for some masculine energy because you're acting feminine. And he says, if you notice the opposite, when a man is masculine and he's walking in his manhood, normally the woman he's with, she is what a lot of people say, resting in her femininity. So where there's one, there's going to be the other, regardless of who is acting in that role. So I guess what I'm saying is, as Umar was saying, why are those women masculine? Now, there's some of them that's going to be masculine regardless, but he was asking them, how did they get that way? If that is your overall complaint about Black women, how did they get that way? That's what I understood. I could be wrong. Olivia, he says the children of the crack pandemic are now the adult children having babies. And you know what's so crazy about this? And maybe, I'm speaking something I have no knowledge of, but from what I read, and I think I read it in Medical Apartheid, if I'm not mistaken, says that the crack baby moniker is not even a real thing because crack does not stay in your system that long. Now, I guess there were babies that were born with crack in their system, but they said born addicted to crack wasn't really a thing. They said that was that something that was put out by I guess the racist medical system in regards to the crack baby. Now, y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what I thought I read. And let's see here, y'all. I too tall. I never did see your face, so if you want to come back on and show me your face, it'd be my pleasure. Let me put the link back up in there. Oh, Donovan says, Dr. Umar is totally wrong. It's not one man's responsibility to care for another man's responsibility. He didn't marry his 2 baby mamas. Nope. That is crazy. But you know what, though? Can I keep it a buck with some of y'all? A lot of y'all didn't marry y'all baby mamas. A lot of y'all didn't marry your baby mamas either. And if she had a man come in there in that house, there was a man more than likely that was the father of the stepdaddy to y'all children. So let's not act like we getting up here and we something, other than what he was. And I'm not saying this about anybody in particular. I'm just saying that's the case a lot. So if you are one that said, I ain't gonna raise nobody else's kids, but then you got a child in a household with a woman that's probably got another man in there, that man is raising your child.
Right, but that's not always the case, and I see where you're going with that. But ain't no man in his right mind is going to listen to what Dr. Umar is saying because he's saying it wrong. How you have a responsible community is men take care of your responsibilities, and then the community gets better. So when you got the Ray and Pookies running around here procreating with most of the women in the community and not taking care of the responsibilities, that brings the neighborhood down. But if every individual man and woman take care of their family, the community gets better. You just can't, like I said, if I'm married to you, Demetra, I can't go, hey, baby, I got to go help Miss Lawson's child over here with her son. That takes away from the family time that I have with you because, number one, I'm working. I might have other things I got to do around the house, a honey-do list and all this other stuff. His advice, I know where he's going with it, but it's not, I just don't agree with what he's saying because it doesn't make sense in the modern age.
Got it. Okay. LS, and thank you, Too Tall. If you don't want to show your face, you don't have to. For whatever reason, I couldn't see you before. So, LS, what's on your mind? LS. I muted your mic.
Is that better? What's up?
I hear you. How you doing?
What's going on, Demetra? What's happening, Donovan?
Everything.
Yo, your girl KeKe showing her natural ass, ain't she?
No pun intended.
Come on. But hey, look, she doing it both ways. Yeah. But I think it's crazy that people coming at the guy, she dating or whatever, the baby dad for saying what he said. But which came first, the pictures or his comment?
I don't know. Maybe the pictures. I don't know. Maybe he saw the pictures. I know on her story, she was kind of carrying on. In regards to Usher, so I don't know if you saw that and he was mad. I don't know.
Yeah, they might not have been in the same place. I don't know, but it's just messy, and that's what life is in 2023. It's a lot of mess going on. Down here locally in Atlanta, right outside Atlanta, it's this place called City of South Fulton. It's all black mayor, black city council, and the mayor got arrested this weekend for burglary. Now, it may be something as simple as a trespass, but even with that, it's first degree. And there's some other messiness around the entire situation because neither the mayor nor the council work together. And it's an all-black city. It's the blackest city in America.
I heard about that. I haven't really delved into the dynamics of everything that's happened, but yeah, I did see that the mayor was arrested for burglary or something. Let me put you on mute for just a second. For whatever reason, there's a lot of feedback when me and you speak. Okay, there we go. Harley, how you doing? You almost made me gag. You say, Donovan, why don't you and Demetra get together? Y'all seem to have good vibes toward one another. And it's like, I would take him out of here with the flick of my Bic. I said Bic. I would take him out of here, okay?
As you guys know, I'm going to break it down like this. I am a big Ike Turner fan. I subscribe to his book, Making a Successful Black Woman. Demetra won't get on program, and for the last 30-something years, I've been trying to get with her sister.
Yeah, no. Me and Donovan are like vinegar and oil and battery acid, and
you guys should see us talking behind the scenes. It's not pretty.
Right. No, Donovan's a lovely man for somebody else. Tisha, you said, Donovan, he's not totally wrong. You say, should a stranger help raise these boys? No, but grandpa, uncle, brother, those members of the village can be influential in these young boys' lives. My brother's always mentoring my kids, and their father is present and active. Yeah, I agree with that. All right.
If I agree with it. And again, not only do I do that, but that's for my immediate family. What I do for the community is I coach because, and coach something that you like. If you're in the football, coach football. That helps the community out because, especially with our young boys, what is the biggest influence in a young boy's life as he's growing up, more so than his family? His coach.
Yeah, so I think that's kind of where he was going. I don't think he said go snatch the kids up and take them home and raise them and all. I just think he said mentor, if I'm not mistaken. Too Tall, how you doing?
Hey, I'm good. Thanks for having me on. Can you hear me?
We can. What's on your mind?
Okay, I just want to say something real quick about the KeKe and whatever her boyfriend's name is about that situation.
Darius?
Yeah, him. Just paying attention to, people's response, mainly women over the past couple days. It's kind of interesting to me how they keep making the point about how she's not married to him. And my thing with that is, why is it okay for her to live with this man, sleep with this man, make a baby with this man without being married? But when it comes to valuing his opinion, that goes out the window because she's not married.
I mean, I totally agree with you. I don't understand how you allow somebody to put a baby in you, and then you could say, well, because we're not married. It's like the baby is supposed to come after marriage, right? So
yeah.
You did it backwards. So yeah, I think that's one of the silliest arguments. I don't think you need to be married to somebody to have respect for them, and I think that's where the issue is. It's like, so we're not married. You don't have to respect me. I don't have to respect you. Is that what we're saying?
That's pretty much what I've been getting from a few of the women that I conversated with about the topic personally. A lot of them throw, oh, she's not married. They keep throwing that in there. She's not married. She doesn't owe him anything like that. But okay, if that's the case, then why don't you keep that same energy across the board? Don't sleep with him, don't shack up, don't have his kids and nothing like that. And I think a lot of women have that mindset like that. Like, they only apply the rules when it works in their favor as a woman.
Yeah, and that's, I would say, not all women, just like it's not all men. There just needs to be some better teaching going on from perhaps their mom. Now, I know KeKe's mom is very active in her life. I know she sits on the podcast. I saw her on the podcast with her and Darius. So it sounds like she's very active. I would hope that her mom would say, hey, you know what? I'm gonna need you to get up off the internet and go home and fix your family, okay?
Right.
These folks on the internet don't care about you. All they care about is the drama. They all up in your business. But
Exactly.
when all the dust settles, who you go home to is gonna matter, because you're not gonna be able to get in the bed with the internet when this is all said and done. That's the advice I would give my daughter. Like, yo, you know what, you're tripping. Yeah, it got bring it down a couple of notches, log off for a little while, and
Right.
go home. That's what I would have said to my daughter.
Right. Right.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yep. So,
That's all I wanted.
all right. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
All right. Thanks for having me on.
It's my pleasure. Unless you have anything else to add. I don't know if he there. All right, so let's you guys the link. I'm gonna put the link again on YouTube. Y'all want to click on?
Hello? Oh,
yes.
My bad. I was still on mute. But yeah, I did want to say something about what happened in Tulsa with the ruling by the judge against reparations for the survivors of the Greenwood massacre.
Okay.
I mean, it leaves kind of speechless. I mean, there's okay, so we know in the recent history, Main Street was bailed out, right? With a ton of money. Well, if you back it up to what happened in Tulsa, after what happened, insurance companies would not honor policies and banks did not give them their money, correct?
Correct.
I mean, is there anything else? I mean, what else do you need to rule in their favor? I mean, good night. It's that all people aren't racist. Some of them are, and the ones that are always find themselves in the wrong position. If you know what I mean. I mean, from their view, they would stay the right position because that's the decision they would want to make. But for us, it's the wrong position. So that's tough. You know, I mean, the court's supposed to be there for you to get some kind of justice, right? I mean, if you look at there's something else here that happened locally, but it's going back a few months, and this the last thing. When Ahmaud Arbery was killed, the DA Jackie Johnson ultimately ended up being charged after everything is said and done. It's going on I think almost 3 years maybe, and she has yet to be arraigned. She has yet to even be arraigned.
They didn't arraign her already?
I mean, she entered a guilty plea, but she has yet to appear in court. There's no movement, and excuses are being given saying that, well, the DA that is over her case is in Atlanta. This happened in Brunswick. They still have planes, don't they? So, you know, it's tough, but you know, we got Lord on our side, so ain't nobody quitting. And ain't nobody waiting on reparations. I mean, look, we want it, we deserve it. There's no question in that. But one of the most irritating things about the discussion is the people on the other side who are against it act as if black people are just sitting on their hands as a whole. And just ain't doing nothing, just ain't working, just ain't living life.
Absolutely.
And they know it's the dead. Oh, but on that, I'm gonna jump off.
Well, you know, you bring up reparations real quickly. Let me answer this. How many of you guys know right now, going through Congress on the Republican side, which is the majority, they are doing a bill that will indemnify the federal government if states approve reparations for Black people. What that means is basically, let's say California approves reparations, right? They're trying to make it to where the federal government doesn't have to pay it. So the state says, you know, we owe Black people $190 million each. So they're going to go to the federal government and say, we need a grant for this. They are setting up right now, and it's going through committee right now to make that law to where the federal government is indemnified from any type of reparations payment. So basically the Republicans are saying, let the states deal with it. And we know with $17 trillion as a minimum of what Black people are owed, ain't no state got that kind of money to give us individually what we are actually owed.
All right, let me get the first chop at that, because after that, I'm gonna have to get off because I'm gonna really start cursing.
Don't do that.
Okay, so I'm gonna relate it to another issue that I think is is what you're saying is the ultimate goal in what they're doing right now, Donovan, is to indemnify and secure themselves and not being responsible for that amount. When before gay marriage was approved by the Supreme Court, it went to a vote in 36 states. 35 states said marriage will be what it is. One state didn't, but a judge, a governor, a attorney general overrode the will of the people and still made that decision. Well, they in turn still took all of that information, those 36 votes, to the SCOTUS, and that's how you got the Obergefell decision.
Absolutely. You know what? I don't mean to cut you off, my brother, but I got two other people on here.
Yeah, but okay.
Quickly,
two seconds. They are doing this thing. They are doing the same thing in this. With what Donovan is saying, all of these states will be secure away from. They'll be paying the debt or responsible for the debt, but it'll never touch the federal government. When on the other side, they do it for a sexual proclivity. All right.
Got you. Thank you so much. I love and appreciate you. Come back and see us. Michael, Miss Sweet Talks, I'm going to leave this up here as a reminder to people. 2 minutes.
Wait a minute. Are we talking about the same thing? Because when you say 2 minutes.
That's a different 2 minutes. Okay, I ain't talking about the little funky 2 minutes y'all be trying to give people. Okay, I'm talking about the 2 minutes today. Michael, how you doing?
I'm doing fine. How are you, Demetra? I saw last Wednesday you were very emotional when you saw the video. I just want to make sure you're doing okay.
Oh yeah, I'm doing much better today. Thank you so much.
Okay, you're welcome. Yes. Just speaking what the guy, what Ellis said, what Ellis and Donovan said earlier about how states are introducing reparations at the state level, and where the federal government is trying to grant waivers or being absolved from responsibility to pay out cash payment to African descendants of slavery. And Donovan's right. That's probably doing at the state level because every year states have a balanced budget amendment, right? And having a balanced budget amendment at the state level is gonna send signals to state legislatures like, oh, reparations. Yeah, we could do this at the state level for like the first 4 years, but when it comes to like gubernatorial, and state elections, yeah, we're gonna have to rethink because it really says to the state that reparations at the state level is a luxury. So that's why reparations at the federal level really needs to come into play and needs to be front and center because it's been continuous. And just leaving at the state level, just tell politicians, oh, we're not sure we should pay cash payment reparations to American descendants of slavery at the state level because it's considered charter luxury. So that's why I think at the federal level, it needs to be front and center, and it needs to be implemented because to leave it at the states will not take the issue of reparations very seriously.
No, absolutely. Donovan, you have anything to add to that? Well,
he nailed it and landed the plane as usual.
Yeah.
Well, we thank you, dear Michael.
You're welcome.
For coming on and giving us your opinion. It's always appreciated. Come back and see us.
I will.
Okay, right. Buzzer Cam, what's going on with you?
I'm doing good. How you guys doing?
No complaints.
Okay, you can hear me. Yeah, there's so many things going on my mind. First, I'm gonna go on to the KeKe Palmer and her man situation. First of all, my opinion is I still have no saying who's gonna wear certain dresses and stuff like that. But at this moment here, from KeKe, what she's doing is kind of like I don't agree with her. She within herself lately, although she just got nobody and was getting together lately after that baby come out of her baby from her man. So that's probably great. But of course, there's no engagement at that point. And and another thing, they come after her because he said what that he's got to repeat saying that personally this show let this out in the proper eye in the theater by itself because he put himself in a sticky situation. But at the same time, it's the pain and and they come out, for one reason because what she was wearing or something like that. So I don't know what they discovered before she went to Vegas to see that concert. Who knows? But it was totally on proven on her part and a little bit bad news on him because he probably should have kept it quiet for more and talked to her so she could come back from the table with herself. Now he put himself in this situation where he can come out of it. Which I'm not going to stop on him because of his opinion about what hurt his girlfriend and the mother of his son. These these so-called model women just got out of order anyway, especially what's going on lately about that anti-fest. I'm not going to explain that and stuff like that, but yeah, that's pretty crazy. Because I'm not going to tell this guy because to say what he was going into it, because so many of these ladies, not only black but all type of ladies, especially the that calculated that feminist movement have watched the famous of feminist stuff and got started in that stuff, and it's just a mess and all around like that. What's your thoughts, man? Because I ain't seeing much what your thoughts on it lately. Because I'm this is probably a short question that I have to say, but what's your thoughts on what did what's going on with them and stuff like that? Because I ain't hear your thoughts.
Absolutely. And Buzzer Cam, thank you so much for coming on. So basically, what you were saying is you don't know what's going on. She wasn't feeling herself lately, or something going on with him. And it sounds like you were saying, and I'm just kind of putting this together, that you weren't going to judge the situation. They may have had something already going on from the time that she left, which I think a lot of people are saying that too. Maybe they were already having issues, and her being out there at the concert dressed like that was just kind of like the volcano erupting. Like, that's it. I'm sick of this. So it very well could have
Yeah,
been, but again, we don't know exactly what happened. We just
right.
kind
We
of,
don't know.
yeah, we just see the aftermath or the reaction to the outfit, or her dancing with Usher. So you're absolutely right. We really don't know, but at the end of the day, that there are other things we should be focusing on. But I'd love and appreciate
Hmm.
you, and I want to also
Yeah,
tell you thank you for that video that you did about me a couple of months ago. I saw it.
yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. I was trying to talk about the material stuff, uploading stuff, but I have been doing it lately because personal issues that's got on my mind and stuff, and I think it's like during the camera month. So I try to take my time to upload videos rather do it from this platform and on Rumble. So thank you very much. I'm
You're
about to go.
welcome.
I'm about to feed my grandma in a minute. Okay, so I'm talking to you guys later on another time. Okay.
Thank you, and thank you. Come see us again.
All right, thanks. Bye.
Bye bye. Yeah, I know uploading content, especially if you're editing yourself, it's like, ugh, it is a lot of work. So you're saying that, sometimes it's a lot of work uploading. I believe he said he was also on Rumble, so he's uploading to various platforms. So it's a lot going on there. But yes, indeed, he did a video expressing his appreciation for me, and I really love that. So. All right, let me get back into the comment section. Oh, I also want to put this link up if y'all want to come on and join the conversation. Y'all see, I got Miss Sweet Talk's reminder up there. 2 minutes. I think it's working. It's working. All right, so let me get back. Let's see. Oh, MC Fact, how you doing? It says Demetra, off topic, your plantation video showed up in alerts, so I watched it and I noticed you didn't have any lipstick or makeup on. You still look good. Okay, back to the show. Thank you. I don't wear makeup all the time. I don't wear any makeup on my face at all. For one thing, in Houston, it's too hot to do that. It's been melted off. I do wear eye stuff. so I don't completely drown out. And a lipstick every once in a while, but I appreciate that. Thank you so much. KeKe, he says, and not KeKe Palmer, but KeKe Will says, why do you all think it's this country is so afraid of Black people getting reparations? Why do they fear it so? Me personally, I think it's because they need Black people to be the pitcher that pours instead of receive. If Black people become economically sound, does everyone else have to make them rich? Does everyone else have to make them rich? The only way to combat this issue is to boycott economically. Blacks must hold our dollars. I totally agree, and hold our vote. Specifically from the Democratic Party, because they benefit from our vote disproportionately more than anybody else. So yeah, you're absolutely right. Hold your money, right? Shut the system down, and then they'll start saying, "Okay, what was y'all saying?" You know, David Shabazz, how are you? The A is how do you say your last name? Oh, I'm sorry, I muted you. Hold on 1 second. There you go.
Shabazz.
Oh, Shabazz, okay, because never mind, but go ahead.
I think I see what you're talking about.
Yeah, but go ahead.
Peace, Queen, peace to everybody in the room. Real quick, Mama Demetria, I don't know if you remember, I came on the panel with you and Uncle Phil. It was like sometime last year or something. Okay. Yeah, but no, so two things. I know we kind of segued away from KeKe, but like, just okay. One is social, another aspect is political of what I got to say. So the social piece regarding the KeKe Palmer thing, man. So as a revolutionary, my goal has always been to find me a Black woman that I can start a beautiful Black family with, right? But you know, with this modern women thing and modern stuff going on lately, man, it's been really difficult finding, you know, a conducive situation. But then now, after I see how a lot of our queens are defending KeKe Palmer's actions, it's got me like, man, you know what? I'm cool, man. I'm cool. I done closed the door on dating. It's not locked, but I closed it. You know what I'm saying? It ain't locked though. I'm like, man, I'm good, man. Like,
and I you know what? I totally understand how you feel. Listen, I'm never gonna be one of these people like, you tripping, because I see it too. And I tell Donovan all the time, I have to admonish this dear brother and say, I'm a Black woman. You ain't gonna educate me on Black women. I know how we act. I know there's some silly sisters out there. Trust me, I know, because sometimes they silly to me.
Yeah.
But I would also say this, and I always say this, the internet is not real. Mm-hmm. What I mean by that is a lot of times we see the twerking sisters, they twerking in Africa, they twerking in the church, or just acting silly, and they we're seeing that. But outside of the internet, there are good women, but they don't get the attention, just like there's a lot of good men.
Right.
They don't get the attention because we're so focused on those degenerates in our community, if you will, right? But that they don't define all Black women, just like some men don't define all Black men. We gotta look outside of that. Now we know a lot of times people do things on the internet for clicks and likes, and then we reshare those things for clicks and likes, and then it blows up to bigger than what it is. And so we think, oh, okay, well, this must mean that it's all women that's like that, or it's all men. Well, right. You're telling me you're a good man, so the Ray-Rays and Pookies, their behavior don't apply to you. Mm-hmm. I'm telling y'all, I'm a good woman, as there's a lot of good men and women in the comment section. Those tropes do not apply to them. So we know there's good Black men and women out there. We just need to get them together. But I'm saying all that to say is, don't allow what you see on the internet to shape your thinking like that's the way it must be in what we call real life. And the other question I want to ask you, and Donovan too, well, because I hear this, modern woman. What is a modern woman to you in comparison to a traditional woman? So what does that mean?
A modern woman, from my perception and understanding, is a sister who generationally has fallen victim psychologically to the white feminist movement. you know, this notion that you don't need a man, and if you do have a man, he need to realize that, you know, you the prize, you can have any man that you want to. Pardon my American English, but this independent boss, you know, like that, you know, that non-collaborative type of mentality that comes with, you know, this modern woman mindset. Now, a traditional woman is one who, now a traditional woman could still be a career woman, but what makes a traditional woman a traditional woman, likewise with the brothers, is she understands her roles and understands that, you know, you have to be able to cooperate. Like, a lot of people are heavy on that word submissive. I don't really like it. I say cooperate, because submit means, you know, you do what I say, your will is under my will. Cooperate means our wills are working together. That makes sense?
Yes.
You know, so you cooperate with me in your feminine role, and I'm cooperating with you in my masculine role, and we working together healthily, you know? Yeah.
No, I mean, I get that cooperation. I actually like that word better too, than submission. Not that I have a problem with being submissive. I just think that is misapplied. And people who are asking, and I say men who are some men that are asking women to be submissive, I don't think they truly know what that means either. I think they mean, you know, well, when I say bend over, I mean right now, you know. You know, and it's like, no, it's a little bit more to it than that, right? You know, but I love the term cooperation, because that's what it is, right? In order to have a conducive union, as you said, there needs to be cooperation, needs to be some give and take, and vice versa. Okay, you do this, I do that, and we are working in tandem toward one goal. So cooperation is the perfect word for that.
Yeah, no doubt. And then the last thing I got, is because I know I'm over 2 minutes, but I wanted to slide my political piece in too, was in the way of reparations for foundational Black Americans. And I want to and I want to make sure I get on Tariq's platform and put this to him as well. He is like real heavy on, like, no, we're gonna do cash reparations. We don't need education. We don't need no programs or anything like that. And I was agreeing with him on this particular stream all the way up until he said we don't need land. You want land? You take your reparations check and you buy some land. And I was like, no, I want the bag too, but I want the land as well. It don't make sense for us to buy the land from the white man. No, he took land from us too. You know, I want the bag and I want some land.
Well, let me ask you this, Mr. Shabazz, in regards to that. Now, when you go to the dealership and you get a car, do you just say, just give me the base model at this price, but you can get a few other things at the same exact price? You want everything you can get, right?
Right.
At that price. So I agree with you that would be ridiculous to just omit the land if that's part of the package.
Yeah. And then like back into the oppressors community, you know, like more than likely you're going to be buying the land from some white institution, you know. So nah, man, you got to fork it all over. I want the bag, and I want both kinds of green. I want the paper green and I want the grass green.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, because that was the original deal, you know, 40 acres.
Yeah.
You know, we want it.
No doubt. But I'm gonna go, y'all, because I know I've been on here for a while, but I appreciate y'all being patient with me.
No, thank you. And come back and see us again.
All right. Black Power.
Yes, indeed. All right. So let's see here. I'm going to put the link back up in here. Just a second. Facts Not Feelings says I'm twice David's age, and I wish I came to that conclusion at his age. More power to the brother. Keep pushing forward. Save your money and get on the plane and go find your woman. You know, I'm like this. Wherever you feel happiness is for you, you should go do that. Do not be deterred by anybody else. I am of one of those people with the mind, the frame of mind, rather, that there are still a lot of good Black men and women here. I saw Miss Sweet say, ladies, get your passports too. I mean, women have been dating men overseas as well, and they have horror stories just like the men have horror stories, you know. So it's like, I don't know. I think love is. I want to be careful when I say this. Love is where you find it, regardless of if it's here, it's over there. And then the other thing is this, and I'm not saying this by anybody specifically. Maybe it's you. Maybe it's you. Maybe you gonna go over to somebody else's country and mess over somebody else's man or woman. Maybe it's you. You know what I mean? Because we keep hearing this on the internet. Oh, I'm going over there. I'm going over there. I'm going to get me a passport, whether it's the men and women now, because I guess the women are talking about they getting passports too. But it's like, might it be you? Might you be the problem? Because everybody can't, I wish, in utopia, everybody can't be a good woman or a good man. Because if that was the case, why are so many people single? And as I see, and Brother David said he hasn't locked the door, but he's closed the door. And I feel him on that one. And someone else in here said the same thing. They're newly divorced. Why are so many people afraid to get out there and date? If there's so many great people running around in dating land, why are they afraid to do that? That's what I really want to know.
Well, wait, I have a question since we're on that before we answer some other questions. Ladies in the chat, and I've been talking to you guys and having a great conversation. I love talking to you guys in the chat. I think that's, Demetri, I really do think that's what really makes your show really good. Not only do you interact with the crowd, but, you got me in the chat. So everybody seems, to get in there without overwhelming the system. But I got this for you, ladies, and this is just a question. Modern women, you guys are strong, you're independent, whatever, right? If you can't deal with the men that are here and that have been basically liberalized and done, whatever, you guys are equal, whatever, how do you expect to go to which most other countries are, traditional places, and expect to do to those men what you do to us here? Now, if you guys have been scouring the internet on YouTube, you will see hundreds of videos where American women went overseas and they were talking about, well, he did this, whatever, and then he slapped me. And then they would call the police over there or whatever. And the police were like, what do you want us to do? Because it's tribal. Men are very respected there. It's a very, very big thing. Another example is if you guys follow 90 Day Fiance, and I was sent this clip to my therapist, right, in the DR. And she saw it and she was like, because she really couldn't understand what I was talking about when it came to like strong, independent women, right? So I sent her the video. And how many of you guys have saw that where that lady, she's in Houston, as a matter of fact, Demetri. Her name is Carter, Dr. Alicia Carter or something like that. This lady is a doctor and she's a lawyer. She has a juris degree, but her father was a judge down there in Houston, whatever. She went to the DR looking for love, right? Went to see the man. I mean, just totally embarrassed the man. It was just bad. It was just a bad situation. And regardless of the money she sent that man to love him or whatever, to support him, he said, it don't matter. I'm the man. You're disrespecting me, whatever. He said, tell me what I owe you and I'll give it back to you. So my question, ladies, is this. If you can't follow men's cooperation here in the United States, how do you expect to go over to these traditional countries and do the same thing? Anyone?
I actually was watching Won't You Be My Neighbor, the Mr. Rogers documentary yesterday. Mr. Rogers Neighborhood. And I learned a trick from him that I said I'm going to use. It said when he would interview people and he would ask them a question and they would talk. Then they would stop and he would just look at them. And then they would continue to talk. And it worked. I just tried it on you. So I'm going to try it. But I was silent because it's like, you're asking the ladies, how do they expect to go to somebody else's country and I guess due to that man, what they doing to the men over here is like, brother, you got a whole community of men. You could be asking that to yourself. Because I'm sure there's some woman somewhere that, and I'm not saying this about all the pastors looking like, I don't care. Go where your heart wants to, whatever. I don't care. Go. But I'm sure there's some woman some of those passport brothers have been with and be like, child, let me tell you about him. He got the nerve to act a whole donkey over here in the States with the women, but then want to go over there and he ain't gonna do nothing but mess up those women too. I mean, hell, like you said, scour the internet. And we've seen a copious amount of tapes or videos, and I dated myself tapes, videos of men over in different countries disrespecting the women over there. So it's like you asking the women that, you should be asking your homeboys that.
Wait, let me say this real quick. You said the men are disrespecting the women. They live in a patriarchal. Yeah. But what I'm saying is their culture is patriarchal. So their women are trained to like take care of the man. See, the minute I said trained, you guys notice that the minute I said trained, Dimitri went.
Now
it's a trigger word, but that's what goes on in these countries. They're trained that the man is important. The man is the center.
But you know what? I'm calling bullshit on it all, because you said, and I'm gonna put the link in here because I got a little energy. I got my wind back now. I'm gonna put the link in here. It's on YouTube. Y'all want to come up? I'm calling BS on it all. Because you're telling me out of your mouth that Donovan is a world traveler, so I believe him when he says he's been all over the world. That women in other countries are trained to treat a man a certain type of way. They trained to care for men and then whatever. Then why are they single?
The women or the men?
The women, these women that y'all are pursuing, talking about they trained to be with a man. Wait. They trained to be with a man and they treat a man right, and all this, opposed to that over the American hard-headed Hannah. That woman over there is trained. Why is she single? Why, if that man, listen, let's do some logic. That man that belongs to that woman per se in that country has trained her to be obedient and to serve man or men. Why isn't she with him?
Well, okay, I got a simple answer for you. In the African countries, there has been a world war in Africa for a long time. Women outnumber men all over the world. But in Africa especially, there is a disproportionate number of women to men, the ratio of women to men. That's why polygamy is really big in these African countries. It's in their culture. Now, if you go down to the Dominican Republic or like places that I go to, most of those women that are in our age group, and I have to stop with that because you got the new modern women now that it's kind of affecting their culture down there because they're watching YouTube and seeing what's going on here. Most of those women in these countries are married, and they get married at a young age. That's a fact. That is a fact.
All right, let's go on your facts, brother. You said most of those women in those countries are married. Then why are y'all taking y'all black behinds over there to try to sop them up?
Because because those women that we're trying to sop up are either modern women and they're younger. They're either younger. That's what I'm saying. There's always going to be, Dimitri, there's no society where they're not single people. There's going to be single people, whatever their demographics are. You know what I mean? So, but majority, if you look at, especially the women and men of our age, if you go down to Costa Rica or anywhere like Mexico, the majority of our age group are married. These people are married. That's their culture. That's just a fact. You go to Japan, Thailand, most of those people in our age group are married. Now, unfortunately, men, we value youth because a young girl could give me a child. A young girl can do, things and stuff like that. Not saying that she's better. We value youth. That's why for eons, when a 72-year-old man is with a 40-year-old woman, nobody bats an eye. But when a 72-year-old woman is with a 26-year-old boy or man, it's unusual. That's just how it is. There's nowhere on this globe where there isn't a patriarchy. The patriarchy rules this globe.
You did a
I could be wrong, but if everybody's got another opinion, please come on the show and let's talk about it.
You didn't answer the question. You did a whole lot of explaining.
I did answer the question. I did answer the question.
I said, if all those women have been trained to be subservient to men and be good women and stuff, why y'all over there having an opportunity with them? Maybe I missed it. I don't know.
Well, yeah, you missed it because again, our American culture over there, we're thinking, we're going to go over here and do this and do that, just like you got rid of dread. So don't just think it's just men, it's women. Here's the point. Like I just explained it. Most of the women in these countries are married. there's always going to be a group of single people that are available to date. That's just how it is.
Keisha, how you doing?
Hey, Demetria, how are you?
I think I'm all right. I think so.
I can get you an aspirin if you need one.
Listen, I am dying. You guys have me dying. I just can't. Listen, I appreciate what the brother just said. I do. I appreciate it. I just want to give a different perspective with respect. Okay. Now, I'm an American, but I'm also from the Caribbean. I was born in a U.S. territory. I grew up in Maryland. I understand Caribbean people, and sometimes I'll say West Indian just because that's our culture. I'm an African descendant, but that's our culture. So if I say West Indian, don't get confused. I mean African, but culturally, that's how we talk about it. Now, when men, especially Black men from the States, from the Caribbean, whatever, because Caribbean men feel the same way. They're mad and they're going to the States and they're going to find them a woman. Okay, it's the same. Y'all don't get mad. It's the same. They're going to the United States and they're going to find them a woman. And American men are coming to Africa and the Caribbean and Brazil to find. It's the same. Everybody gets pissed off and now I don't want you no more and I'm going to go find me something better. Here's the thing. We are all the same wherever you go. You're talking about patriarchy. But these women that you're talking about being in patriarchies, they know how to play that patriarchy like a string instrument. It's a fine-tuned piano, okay? They can play it like an orchestra. You think you're going to the DR and finding some simple, and when I say simple, I don't mean mentally simple. I mean, traditional. She's going to cook, she's going to clean, she's going to raise the children, she's going to love you, she's going to do all the things and tricks that you want her to do. She wants money from you. And if you don't have the money she needs, she doesn't want you. You go to Africa, they have us, you say it's patriarchal. It is, but you have to have a dowry in many cases. Otherwise, her father doesn't want to see you coming. You have to be able to take care of that woman. And if you're in a polygamous relationship with more than one wife, you have to be able to take care of all of those women exactly the same, which means all of them need their own house. All of them need to be able to raise their own children. You spend one night here, you go over there, and you can't spend more time with one than the other. You can't give more to one set of children than to the other. You have to be ready for that type of responsibility. You think having one woman is a problem? Try having 2 or 3 or more. You have to be ready for it. When I was in college, one of my girlfriends was from Nigeria, and her mother and father was in a polygamous relationship, and her mother was the first wife, which means she ruled. And when she made the decision, all the other wives had to follow. And the husband, if he didn't want a problem, he better fall in line too. But he still had to take care of all those other women. You have to be ready for that kind of responsibility. It is not peaches and cream. If you can't afford that woman, you can't say you want this patriarchal relationship and then she has to work. And in this society, American society, how are you going to live anywhere in the United States, even the territories and commonwealths, and think you're going to have a woman who most likely doesn't work? Much of the time, that does not work. So I think you guys need to take a step back. The grass is always greener until you get there.
Okay, I agree with you wholeheartedly. Unfortunately, the guy that you're talking about that can't afford it, that ain't me. I can afford it.
That's not the problem. The problem is not only do you pay for it, but there are other little things in the society that you don't understand. And I don't want to get into the weeds and generalize and make people upset, because I don't want a whole bunch of West Indians getting hot with me. But I'm just saying, you don't really know what it is to be in that society and be with a woman from that society because you didn't grow up there.
Well, I disagree.
You might be surprised.
Well, let me cut you off.
That's why when you see these guys go get these women and they're from the Philippines and she's chasing them around the house with a broomstick after a year, and he's wondering what happened to my wonderful little wife.
Mm-hmm. Well, I disagree. Okay, number one, I was raised in Japan. I was raised in Asia. I've been to the Philippines. I have family members that are Filipino. Okay. Yes. When they come to the States and they get indoctrinated here, things change and they got a little this, that. I get that. But if they are in their home country, none of that changes. They are wives and all this other stuff like that. So I understand what you're saying. If I've never been there, I've been there. I lived there. I grew up there. So I know what I'm talking about when it comes to the patriarchy.
Can I interject here?
Sure.
I'm just sitting here listening because, Keisha, I heard every word you said. And, you know, as I was listening to you, I knew Donovan was going to circle right back around and say, I disagree with you. Now, let me take notes because I'm getting old. I'll be forgetting stuff. Hold on a second. Hold on. It's that bad, y'all. I've been up all day.
Keisha had some great points. I mean, I agree.
And Michael, let me have you come back. I want to let somebody else come up, but I'll bring you back if we have time because we only have 5 more minutes or so. Maybe we'll go a little bit. All right. I knew he was going to say, well, I disagree. Now, she is telling us she is American, but she is of Caribbean descent. I believe he said African as well. She's telling us the rundown and how it goes and this, that, and the other. Ain't no different and all the ins and outs you got to do. And I knew you was going to say, well, I disagree. How you going to argue with this woman who has lived in other countries? I know you have two, but she is a woman that is of, Caribbean descent. And more than likely, some of the women that y'all running after, she's telling y'all, as my mom used to always say, all that glitters is not gold. Y'all think y'all going over there and the grass is greener. It's not. You're more than likely going to have those same issues. And Keisha, let me ask you this. I want to piggyback off. I want to ask a question to you. What Donovan just said. He basically says that the women in those other countries, they are, submissive and they're Gucci, right? They're good to go until they come over here. And that old evil American woman corrupts her. Keisha, are y'all stupid?
No. Everybody has their wants and their desires. And there's a bunch of Filipinos in the U.S. Virgin Islands because they came over here to work as teachers. And let me tell you, they ain't no different than us. When they get pissed off, you will find out. And they will be just as angry as any Black woman will be. They will be just as angry. They will be chasing you like Tiger Woods' wife, who is not Black, Filipino, or of color at all, chasing you around. Okay, you will be sorry. They will plot and plan, but you need to stop. It's not all of anybody. It's not all of anybody, but people are people. You are chasing a pipe dream.
All I'm saying is, in my military experience, I know people that have, of course, military. We don't just only defend democracy; we spread democracy through our lineage, right?
My father was in Vietnam, so yes.
Yeah. So was my father. But the thing is, what I'm saying is this: most of the people that I know in my circle of friends, Filipinos, I've got friends that have been married for 40, 50 years, whatever. Matter of fact, I'm going to go back to the Philippines because I haven't been there since 1991 to go visit some of these old places. And like I said, we can't categorize everybody because everybody can get they can get a stick and run their husband around. And so that happens here in America almost every day. So, but what we're saying is, in my experience, not your experience, my experience, I have yet to go around this globe and not experience the patriarchy. If there is a matriarchy society, please point it out. That's all I'm saying.
So what I'm saying to you is, what you're saying about patriarchy, that's not the discussion. The discussion that I'm having with you is people are the same wherever you go. And what you're saying about American women, you will find it in other women, maybe in a different way, but it is there. The same anger that y'all are running from, because you bring it out of them and they bring it out of you, because people are people. I am not saying that every single person does that. I'm saying you are not going to go somewhere and find a group of women who do not do the exact same things. I am not arguing about the patriarchy. And of course, there are matriarchal societies all over Africa, but that's not the point. You still have to respect the other person. That's not what I'm saying. It's about respect. And if you don't give respect, you can't get respect.
Agreed, wholeheartedly. Agree with that.
That's all I'm saying. And I'm going to jump off Dimitri.
I mean, I don't need to say anything. I love that you came on here and, you told your truth. You know what it is like over there. And I agree with you. The people are told the grass is greener on the other side. And that's why I said too, and I agree with Brother David about the word submission, because a lot of people, got the word submission all wrong. They thinking that she gonna bow down to me and kiss my feet and all kind of. And it's like, no, you
And I
are
feel
really.
sorry.
No, go ahead.
Sorry. I was going to say, and I feel so sorry for my brothers because sometimes you're getting involved with women who do not respect you because you are black, no matter if they look black like you too. You have to be, especially if you go to the DR, you have to be so careful. You have to know the history of the DR and Haiti. And if you don't know that, you are getting yourself in deep with people who are just as bad as any white supremacist in America would be after they get your money. So be careful. You have to know the history of a place. And I'm from the Caribbean, and I'm telling you straight.
Nuh-uh, you don't know what you're talking about because, I've been all over the world and you don't know nothing.
Well, no. Well, I'm going to say this for myself. And Demetrius seen me in action and stuff like that. I can hold my own no matter where I go because of my experience of traveling and being in different cultures, and I understand this. So I agree with you, Keisha. We're not disagreeing. But not every brother goes over there because they've never experienced another neighborhood shit. Excuse my language. We got people right here that won't even leave their city. They think going to from Louisiana to Houston is a big thing. Okay, we're talking about traveling and big cultures. Like I can hold my own. And again, DR, Costa Rica, South Africa. I've never had a problem. Never had a problem because I've traveled. And
listen, I'm with Demetria. Travel, meet people. My grandmother is from Martinique. My grandfather is from Tortola. His mother is from the Dominican Republic. So I am not telling people not to travel and meet people. I am a product of many different Black people from many different places. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying when you do, understand what you're doing. I have a cousin. He's from the Dominican Republic. He came to St. Thomas. He grew up in St. Thomas. He literally was disconnected from the DR until he went back for a family get together. He met a woman. He started dating her. He married her. He had a house here. He would be here most of the time in the Virgin Islands, and he would go back and bring money for his family. They had kids. And then he got involved with another woman from the Dominican Republic right here in St. Thomas. And this is a bad story, but I just want to be as vivid as I can because I'm afraid for you guys sometimes. The woman who was in the Virgin Islands was mad because he had a wife and wouldn't divorce her in the Dominican Republic. All of them are from the Dominican Republic. He is my cousin by blood. We are all Black. We are all mixed with Native. We are Black people. Let me make that clear. We are African descendants. She put, what is that thing called that you put in your car? Freeze zone or antifreeze in his drink. And my cousin died. You guys have to know what you are dealing with. And that is somebody who is from our culture, from the same island. You understand what I'm saying? So yes, travel, meet who you want, love who you want, but know what you're getting yourself into. Do not rush into anything.
Damn, that's gangster.
Exactly. But no, that's not gangster. That's common sense.
But he was with her for years. He didn't just meet her. You have to understand people's culture and the underbelly of culture and the good people are in that culture and who would go there. Not everybody would go there. And I'm not saying every woman from the Dominican Republic is like that. That is not what I'm saying because I have family members, like I said, from the Dominican Republic. I'm just saying you have to understand what you're doing. And sometimes we just walk around and shake our heads because we're like, if we tell you, you're not going to believe us.
Well, that's a good point. But, again, I mean, you got your experience. I'm going to stand on mine like a rock, unfortunately.
Okay. I respect that.
Right. And
all I can do is share. And I know if you need the information now, you have it, you can pull from it.
Damn. Antifreeze. Woo.
Antifreeze.
Keisha,
and he's not the only one that has happened to.
Yeah, Keisha, you got to come back on the show. That's pretty good. But again, you've got a lot of women here in the United States that killed their spouses and boyfriends.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying
no. I know what you're saying. You're saying people are the same everywhere. People are the same everywhere.
Keisha, I do love and appreciate you. But now you see what I go through.
I was laughing. You guys make me laugh. You guys are the
what the problem is.
I think you gave a master course from your experience of women where you come from. And here this joker is talking about, well, that ain't what I understand. That ain't
what the problem is. Eat the KeKe.
And I did not want to
KeKe.
share that story because I don't want to make it seem like I'm pitching, holding everyone. I'm just saying you have to go in with eyes wide open and do your research about what that culture is before you get there. And not just a year I lived there. What do you know about these people decades before, a century before, what made them who they are? If you don't know that, maybe you should pump the brakes.
Right. Well, exactly. Well, and I agree with you, but like I'm a culture person. So like whenever I go to the DR, or even when we were in South Africa, we went to South Africa, me and Demetra and her daughter, we all went down there, right? And they were too tired from the flight. I was in all of the cultures and I was going into the so-called bad areas, but it didn't affect me because number one, I was there to learn, and they can tell I was an American and stuff like that. But I immersed myself in the culture, and plus I already had known about the culture before. So I'm with you. You got to do your homework and education. Like I don't like to go to the resort areas. I don't like to do those things. Dimitri doesn't like to do them either. I want to go meet the people and learn. So when I go to these countries, I go there to learn the culture. I don't go there to exploit. That's
a good thing. Learn the culture, but learn the people and subtle. You know how people have subtle cues? Learn the subtle cues. Because that's the real culture. What people are saying to you in your face and just seeing around, okay, that's history. But culture is something deeper. It's in the mind, it's in the heart, it's in the soul. I can look at another West Indian or another person from the Caribbean or even from my island when something happens, and we know exactly what we're thinking. You know what I mean? And even in Maryland or DC, I could look at another Black person in DC or Maryland, and we know exactly what we're thinking because it's culture. You understand?
And Keisha, what I really hear you saying is, brothers, don't believe the hype, because the stuff y'all hearing up on this World Wide Web is going to get some of y'all mixed up in something like some antifreeze. What she's saying is, do your research. Don't just listen to some Negro who Watusi'd himself over to the DR with the $5 in his pocket, bought him some tail, and then he getting on the internet talking about, oh man, you got to get your passports.
No, wait, remember that? Wait. Remember that guy that spent all his money in the DR and was at the airport?
Yes. Because what she's saying is, she's not telling y'all not to go. She actually giving y'all game, and y'all don't listen to her. She basically tell you, do your research, move with caution. Don't go over there with the fairy tale mindset that, oh, those women, they're all lovely, and oh, they're just so agreeable, and they would never give me no battery acid in my drink. She telling you, listen, just be cautious. And yes, if that's not feeling you actually, let me put it up here. Where to go? You actually kind of proved what she was saying. Said, hold the line. Any woman is capable of deleting, and that's basically what she was saying. It ain't just American women that y'all running from that are evil. Some of the women y'all running to got a whole plan for you. Like I told Donovan, I am not playing. You better be happy I don't live over in any of those countries. Boy, I have me a whole bunch of women. That's a sucker. You get the one over there getting his bags. That's a sucker. Get all his money. Oh, yeah, that one, his name is Donovan. He's been over here a few times. Get the rest of his money. I'd have him pick all y'all pockets. I swear I would. But the point,
and they mark you, and just like that, because a lot of these people come from, and when I say these people, a lot of our people especially in places like the DR, our people, some of them, you meet them in the city, but they come from the rural areas in the country, and it's bad. They don't have street lights, they don't have running water, they have an outhouse, not a bad. It's bad, and it's people are desperate, and desperate people do desperate things,
right?
And they do things that if you were well taken care of, you wouldn't even consider.
So basically what you're saying is the women here that set up the 304s out here that set up men to be robbed.
I don't understand what is a 304. I don't understand what is that.
Well, these women that set up men to be robbed and stuff in America.
Oh.
Basically, if you're on your P's and Q's in the United States, you should be on your P's and Q's overseas. Correct?
That is not what happens. It's a different culture. You get relaxed. You're calm. I met a few girls on the beach one time. They were from the States. I forgot what state they were from, but they were on the beach and they had their purses and they all wanted to get in the water. So they all got up and ran into the water, and some kids came by and stole all their money. You get lulled into a sense of security sometimes, many times. because the stress is off because everybody around you is Black and people are welcoming. But it only takes one set of people to do that to you. And the kids that did that to them, they were all from the DR because it's desperate over there and they lived in the Virgin Islands. So you just have to understand who you're dealing with and why they would do, what's the motivation, what's the intention, you know, not just the beautiful smile. And I hate saying the DR and always going back to the DR. It's just that my story is just happens to be about people from the DR, but I met lovely people from the DR, wonderful people from the DR. I have family from the DR, and I don't want to make it sound all bad because it's not. It's beautiful, and there are beautiful people from the DR and kind people from the DR. I'm just saying you have to understand culture and subliminals.
They ain't gonna listen. They on here thinking you lying to them and
okay.
Okay, we gonna let me see your face, Dusty Hotep.
Hold my beer. I'm gonna show y'all.
All right, I got you. You can blank it out if you want to. All right, here we go. I think this is a first. Is this a first?
Yes.
How you doing, Dad? Now, can I ask you, why do you call yourself Dusty Hotep?
Oh, just being sarcastic.
I figured that. All right, what's on your mind, brother?
Stop the fear mongering. Why are we doing this?
Like, describe the fear mongering. What fear mongering are you talking about?
Oh, they're gonna put this in your drink and all that. We already know about those kind of things. We've been there already.
Wait, but listen, this is and I appreciate you and I love and appreciate you for coming out here. I really do. But she didn't say that would happen to you, like guaranteed. She's saying that it happened to her cousin and not to
anecdotes.
Whatever. She's
right.
Basically what she's saying is, do not be fooled by a lot of these people on the internet telling you it's utopia. Those women are perfect. She's saying
nobody said it's a utopia. We're always saying it's a better shot, it's a better selection. That's it.
But you know what though? I have to respect your opinion because that's exactly what it is. There's a lot of brothers who will say, I'm gonna stay over here and I'm gonna
it's a lot of these plantation brothers.
Why? But see, why? Okay, but let me ask you this: why do they got to be plantation brothers? Because they want to stay with Black women over here.
Because they want to drag us down too and make us stay too and shame us in the stand.
Hold on a second. Now, this is why I'm gonna have to take your task a little bit. Y'all hoop and holler about y'all being alpha men. How is somebody else gonna make you do something you don't want to do, brother?
They can't, but they try.
So why you bring it up?
Because they're making videos shaming you. Oh, why you want to do all these beautiful women here and yada bull?
You ain't been listening to no Black woman. Why you gonna listen to her now?
Not just women, it's men too.
You your own man. Why you listening to them?
Oh, here we go. See, now look at this. I'm
asking you a question.
Why would they even worry about it though?
Why are you worried about it?
Why would they be concerned about it?
I wouldn't give a damn if Jesus himself came down here and worried about what I was doing. Why are you worried about what people you don't know on the internet saying about you taking yourself over to another country and getting you a woman?
Well, it's not always about just getting another woman. It's there's other things too now.
Well, whatever it is, you're going over there to get, fool's gold. I don't know. Whatever you're going over there.
That's not what it's all about.
But I'm saying whatever you're going over there for, why are you a man? You alpha man, you a masculine man. Dusty, you've been getting at me for a minute in these comment sections. I've been reading the comments, but you a masculine man, and you ain't letting nobody tell you what to do. All of a sudden, you care about what people you don't know on the internet is talking.
No, but I'm talking about the bad advertising, the bad rhetoric, the bad. Oh, look at what happened to this person. Look what happened to that person. We read the stories. We know already.
Well, I mean, she could tell you. People can warn you. I mean, hell, I told you I went to the DR, and me and my daughter almost got snatched up. I mean, that's true. Story.
That's true. But that's the thing. I know where I'm going. I wouldn't be caught there in the DR.
Yeah, I was almost that damn near in the DR. But
I'm about to be mayor in the town of Sosua. Okay.
Well, hey, that's you, brother. You got connections there. I got connections in the places I go.
Yeah. So anything else you want to add, Mr. Hotep?
Nah, but come on. All these old phony stories. I don't let these tethers do that kind of stuff.
Wait, hold on.
I'm so worried about my brothers. No, you're not.
Brother, we're not gonna call names on here. I know you know. That's the other thing too, Dusty Hotel. Listen, yeah, I think I know you fairly well. I be seeing your comments, the comment section, and y'all always talking about how y'all not emotional. That is a very emotional thing to call somebody a name because you disagree with them. You don't have to call my sister a name. You don't.
Okay, what does the tether mean?
I don't like that word. You know why I don't like that word? Because
why?
To me, I hear the N word or something, or
no.
And that, but wait. So then, what is it? What is it?
That's just somebody who comes over here from another country and interferes in our business. That ain't got nothing to do with them.
I'm an American. I was born an American. I didn't come from another country.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you're a descendant of Tethers. Whatever.
But you see,
so are you.
Wait, hold on, Keisha. I got it. Because I'm glad Dusty Hotep came up here today. That I listen. I doubt very seriously that you have the wherewithal to go to another country and be respectful of a woman, because by your assessment, any woman that you go be with in another country is a tether. So why are you trying to get your FBA?
No, because a tether is somebody who comes here. Comes here.
You want to put your FBA
down? A tether is somebody who comes here. Bottom line, they have to come here to be a tether.
Want to put your dang-a-lang in another woman that you feel is subservient to
they you. They have to come here. No, see, here you go.
Wait, let me ask you. We're having a dialogue. We're asking you.
That's just like the white feminists, the same thing.
See, name calling emotional, very emotional. But let me ask you this: you claim to be FBA, right?
Okay.
Is that a yes or no?
All right. I'll accept that. Yeah.
Does Tariq Nasheed, and I don't know, does he tell y'all to go be off of somebody else's woman, or does he encourage you to be with an FBA woman?
I mean, he's kind of neutral with it. He might. I mean, he encourages you sometimes, but he can't talk either.
Listen, brother, we're not gonna be lukewarm. Either he does or he doesn't.
He can't talk either. Yeah, it's video of him in Brazil itself.
So why are you following somebody who ain't even saying the stuff they telling y'all to do?
What do you mean?
You see at the bottom of my name.
I mean, he's married now, so.
Huh?
I mean, he's married now, so hey.
Would he encourage you to go be with a woman who is not foundational Black American?
He didn't have no big objection to it. I mean, but you can recommend, say, hey man, you got a lot of sisters here, or whatever. But he's not doing it like the way y'all doing it.
Boy, I tell you, you know what? I'm disappointed, Dusty.
May I say something?
He's not doing it like y'all doing it.
I'm gonna let you. Yeah, I'm disappointed. I really thought you was gonna come up here and take me here and take me there, but you was like,
no, ain't no need.
Lightweight.
Oh, come on,
Keisha.
Remember what I said about respect? To get it, you have to give it. You know, you have to be mature and you have to understand who people are and where they come from. Now, to be FBA, if you really are, you should do your history and know that a lot of people in the Caribbean were brought from America to the Caribbean to plantations.
Okay, so yeah, Liberia and Sierra Leone too.
May I finish without being interrupted? Because I did not interrupt you, brother. I gave you all the respect, even though you were disrespectful multiple times. So we always try to separate ourselves. There is really no division, but only if you want to make it. And if you heard me say I was from the U.S. Virgin Islands, you would know that my mom and my dad are from the U.S. Virgin Islands. And my dad was in Vietnam, like I said, but you weren't listening because you only see a Black woman and you want to be disrespectful. And that's okay. You're probably too old to change, but that's not the way to be. If you want respect, go and be with whoever you want. I have people from many places in my family. I respect them all. I'm just saying, brothers, when you go, keep your eyes open and don't be foolish. And don't go because you hate your Blackness.
Oh, God. Is that the... Oh, Lord.
Now, brother, respond logically to what she said. She laid it out.
No, I mean, this is just...
We're listening to you. Go ahead.
This is just snake. This is reptile lowness. This is why we...
You ride with the manosphere,
brothers, you hear what's happening. get your passport, go.
No. I'm gonna have to disagree with that. Dusty Hotep. Demetra, hold my beer. Here it is.
Oh Lord.
Not only get your passport, put all of your assets in your mama and your daddy's name.
There it is.
You know what? Again, it's really been my pleasure, Dusty Hotep. I'm glad you finally came up because I was like, who is this Dusty Hotep? He always got like I said, I see a little salty comments in the comment section about me and stuff. And you came up here and man, you let me blow you over. How you let me do that to you?
Oh, you declaring victory?
Oh, for sure.
How?
You couldn't even come up here and hold your point. You call first
what
one,
point?
You calling somebody's name.
I'm still going where I'm going.
Yeah,
what point do I have to hold?
Matter of fact, we want you to. Can we get a GoFundMe? They help you get the faster. I'm just saying because to her point, she told you that she's American, her parents are American, but you called her all up out of name because you could not lie.
Yeah, that's irrelevant. Tethers raise tethers, so that's just how it is.
But you want to go be up in
and
them.
Fools raise fools, and nothing like a
don't do that. Don't do that.
Oh, see,
that's the thing. The difference is you come here and interfere in business that ain't got nothing to do with you.
Get respect
that's
when
what makes
you are being completely unintelligent and disrespectful, and that's why women don't want to be with men who think like you.
Maybe I'm sick of that crap. I'm tired of this. I'm a black woman crap.
Wait. But you know what though? I think you should concede her point.
We're so victimized. I'm black and I'm a woman.
Yeah, like black women, and just own that. We're fine.
No, I don't like.
They don't like themselves.
They
hate what they see in the mirror. It has nothing to do with us. They use us as an excuse.
Please.
That's why he
has
no
damn well. You know damn well that's wrong. And you're wrong, and you won't change.
Just
you're wrong, and you know you're wrong, and you won't change.
Just emotional.
Oh, it's emotional. Oh, yeah, okay.
Emotional. You are
emotional. What you gonna say? My mama black?
Is she?
What you gonna say next?
Your mama? Is she
Your
black?
mama black?
Is she black?
Saying the same old trope, the same feminist garbage.
The same old truth he has no retort for.
Oh, your mama, you hate yourself.
Same thing white people don't like. The truth. It's kryptonite.
I'm disappointed.
No, you're not.
I did. I drank. I was like, let me get some Wheaties. Here come Dusty Hotep, and my knees was knocking together and stuff. And then you came up here with the emotional, All
right, what am I supposed to say? The women are more cooperative. The food is better. The price of living is better. So why shouldn't I go?
Dead.
You know what? I almost wish this was a V8. You know what I say? I could have had a V8.
Why shouldn't I go?
We want you to go, brother. Trust me.
No, you don't.
You should go and give everybody else a break. Go get your passport, get all your money, give it to your mama and your daddy.
Had my passport
go and never come back. Go, please go.
I was a passport bro before it was a passport bro.
Please go.
Hit the road, Dusty. Don't come back no more, no.
All right.
I'm just playing with you. Listen, you see me and Donovan go. I'm just giving you a hard time. It's all in fun. It's in love. But you know what?
Oh, I know.
Yeah, I don't like you disrespecting my sister though. We can talk, but just calling people names, I wouldn't let her call you a name either. Just if that.
But everything's not a name. Sometimes things are just descriptive.
Some things are just unintelligent.
You're describing a mindset.
Just unintelligent.
A feminist is
nothing else to pull from.
Feminist is defining a mindset. Saying a tether is defining a mindset. Now, if I called you a BI or something like that, that's different.
I'm putting up the link. And I see Arson, you want to come up here? Please come up here. Michael, I don't know if you're still there, but please, I want you to come back next time. I'm going to let Arson, he wants to come up.
I'm over, Demetria. Thank you so much.
Come back next time, Keisha. We'd like to talk to you again. You got some good insight.
All right, bye.
Dusty, you still there?
Oh, yeah.
You all right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I just want to make sure you're all right. I know that was oh, Lord. Here come your twin. I'm going to put him up here. How you doing today, Black America?
Okay, look, we brought in the cannons now. Y'all gonna get it.
Lightweight too. Go ahead. What's up? What's on your mind, Black America?
Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing today?
We're doing
Everybody in the chat. Miss D, Mr. Donovan, Sir Donovan. I was just listening to the last conversation with the Dusty Hotep and the little old lady in the shoe.
Her name is Keisha.
Yeah. Keisha, Miss Keisha.
Black America. And, wait, before you get started, don't come on here acting emotional by calling people names and being disrespectful.
I'm not being emotional. Men don't have emotions like that. I'm a Vulcan. If you ever watch Star Trek, you'll know what that means. I don't know why he was calling her out of her name. She did have an accent, like she could have been from a foreign country. Hey, and and we as Black Americans, and I've told you this before, we are a certain community, and I understand that you blend with the Black African News Channel, Diaspora, whatever. I don't know how to say it. How do you say it?
What are you trying to say again? I'm sorry.
African diaspora.
News Channel, Diaspora. Yeah, African diaspora.
Right. You feel like that because their skin is brown or because they are African descent, that we're all the same. And us foundational Black Americans or ADOS, we don't see it as the same. And once again, my comment earlier was we don't have a community because of we do not see that the same. And you being a Black American don't see it the same either. You think that just because they're Black, that we're all the same and we're all on the same side. We definitely are not all on the same side. And I left the conversation. When I left, y'all was talking about KeKe Palmer. I don't know what happened when I came back just now. It was off the chain. I'm hearing the word tether and, you talking about you going to have a V8 on the brother. I'm like, what the hell is going on over here?
I was just saying, I thought, I was really finna have to work hard at this, but it wasn't hard at all. And let me ask you this, Black America. Wait.
Go ahead.
What changed in regards to us not seeing Black people from other parts of the country like us? What changed?
Their behavior.
Well, hold on, brother. What changed is it's never changed. You being from California, Donna, then you're from California. You know, in LA,
Black America, is your mic hitting something? Kind of like sounds like it's muffled. It's not muffled, but like it's hitting something when you talk.
I'm sorry. I had to pull over. I'm sitting on my motorcycle. I had to pull over and call. I'm serious. It got that real. What happened is you being from California, us Blacks in LA never got along with the Jamaicans. There has never been a time us Blacks in LA got along with the Jamaicans. It's just like the Mexicans getting along with the people from El Salvador or Guatemala. They don't do it. But they still have something that we don't. They have family structures. We don't have a family structures because of the disrespect that our women are allowed to continue in. And it makes us bad. If we want a stronger community, we're gonna have to bring back the family structure, which means there's gonna have to be, I know Corliss is in that chat somewhere. She's not gonna like this. There's gonna have to be some consequences put upon the women and the things that they do. Without any consequences, then it's nothing that we can do. It doesn't matter how alpha we are, because we can't stop feeding you. We can't do anything else harsh to you. There has to be some consequences to your actions. And then the men can truly be men.
Let me ask you. So you said there needs to be some consequences to our actions? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Like what?
Okay, with KeKe Palmer, maybe if everybody on the planet shunned her and told her that that was a bad look, one, because she has a man who she's in relationship with. It doesn't matter if it's her husband or not. They are in a committed relationship. They have a baby. She is over 18. Like after 18, you're making a decision to actually do something. If everybody on the planet started shunning people like this and turning their backs on them, then maybe, like the Scarlet Letter, then maybe we could get somewhere, but we can't, because we have people telling that her boyfriend makes $500,000 to $1 million a year. It's not like he's a broke dude on the corner. He makes great money. But the women are talking about he's broke and you make more than him anyway. It doesn't have anything to do with the amount of money that he makes. It has to do with the amount of respect that that woman is not giving that young man.
Okay. So how do we deal with the men that are not on code per se?
Clarify, what do you mean on code? Because men, we don't have a code. So clarify what you mean on code.
I guess then it'd be hard for me to do that if y'all don't have a code.
What? You're
saying that KeKe should
wait,
because Hotep, you seem to listen pretty good, okay? Black America said that there should be consequences for women, and that he's clarifying, like KeKe, right? She should be shunned. So I'm saying, what about the men who are not doing what they supposed to do? Should they be shunned? Like, what should happen with them?
Give me a for instance of what a man. Give me a for instance of what a man should be doing that's not doing.
Okay, let's stay in the same vein with this situation. There are some people who said he might not have been wrong for what he said, or whatever, but he was wrong for how he said it in regards to doing it online, and that he should have said that to her at home or called her or whatever the case is, right? So how should that be dealt with?
I got a question for you. Is that his woman?
What do you mean, is that his woman? They claim
is that it? Exactly. That's his woman. That's his property. He can treat his property the way he wants to treat his property. Ooh. And the same goes for a woman. If me and you are married, I am your property. Al Green wife threw hot grits on his ass in the bed.
That's a lie. It wasn't even his wife.
Well, whatever. But you know what I'm saying. If we are each other's property, you can do with your property he's not beating on her. He's not mistreating her. He's talking bad to her because she had a bad behavior, like you would do a child. That's a bad behavior. I'm sorry. It is. But that is his woman. That's his property, D. I mean, he can't say anything. If they were married, now they would just be a married couple mad at each other. Or he would just be like, well, now you can't ever go anywhere because I can't trust you to act like an adult. You see what I mean? It's all bad because there's no consequences for women in our community. You guys can get away with anything you want and then have all of the other women behind you lined up cheering with pom-poms. It's not right.
I hate to cut you off and to keep going to I keep hating the way before you yap, Hotep. I hate to keep going to the easy, the same old. Brother, you got 16 children, so who gonna hold you accountable?
Hold me accountable for what?
For having 16 children, and I'm quite
the
sure
court.
If I ever
the court.
If I ever had fell, hold on. If I ever had fell behind on child support, I could go to jail. I could lose my license, and I'm in the trucking industry. So I could go to jail. I could lose my license, which is losing my livelihood. So that's being held accountable to the 100th degree. There are consequences and repercussions for men. There was a man that was put on child support and put in prison for 5 years for a kid that come out with a blood test that wasn't his. Men are held accountable every day, Demetra.
You're being held accountable by the white man. But what about being held accountable to those children who do not benefit from having their father in the home on a regular full-time basis? What about that? Who holds you accountable for that?
Okay.
Children.
Okay, so it's 3 men on the panel, and this question goes to the men. Men, how do we learn? Do we learn by doing and seeing, or we learn by reading books?
Men learn by doing and seeing initially. That's why it's always good for the boys to follow the father so they can learn.
And you know what a father does, Demetra? A father shows that he goes to work every day and he provides for his family. He doesn't need to be in the house to go to work every day and showing that he's providing for his family. You don't, as a dad, you don't get to show up at every football game or every soccer game or every t-ball game, because you better have your ass at work. If you're not working 60 or 70 hours as a week as a dad, you're not doing your job. Plain and simple. Dads aren't home kissing boo-boos and playing Super Nintendo most of the time. Dads are out busting their ass so their kids can go to private school, so their kids can get school, so their kids can have bread and lunch and fruits and vegetables. That's what dads are doing.
Wow.
I agree, Pamela. He did not answer the question. It went shoo, shoo. It went all over the place.
I didn't answer the question. I thought I did. Dads go out to work, and what they show is a representation of what young men are going to be doing for the rest of their lives. Men work almost until the day they die. That's what dads show. Dads show work ethic and work, what you're supposed to be doing. That's why Joseph was a carpenter, and you turn around and Jesus was a carpenter, because you pass things along. My dad worked for the railroad. Guess what I did? I worked for the railroad, and then I went to firefight and things like that. That's what dads do. Dads show you what you're supposed to be doing as a man.
I think she's referring to deadbeat dads.
Can I ask you, y'all better be happy Corliss is having some connectivity issues. As soon as she connects, we gonna hear from Miss Corliss. But let me ask you, men, this: is having 16 children normal? Is having 16 children normal?
Normal when? Normal today or normal 50 years ago? Because each one of my grandmothers had 13 kids. Each one of them.
Wait. Let me ask you this, because I want to clarify. Was each one of your grandmama, did her 13 kids come from multiple men?
Yes.
How many?
I believe one was 3, and I believe another one was, it might have been either 2 or 3.
Donovan, how many children did your grandmother have on both sides?
How many children?
Yes.
On my father's side, she had 24 live births, 27 altogether. My mom is the oldest of 12.
I'm gonna put y'all, those of y'all who are not speaking, on mute. And Donovan, how many men helped her father those children?
1.
What about on your dad's side or the other side?
Same thing. 1.
One man, all those children? Hey, Corliss.
Well, welcome. Hi, guys.
How you doing?
Now, Black America. I done just got off the freeway driving 6 hours, but for you to say that you are shown how to be, you got how many kids? How many kids he got?
16.
Okay.
16.
So your daddy showed you how to be a Rolling Stone?
What does you hold on, hold on, hold
You
hold
did.
hold
I'm
hold
what
on.
you put out. So hold on. You just said that men
Was that a statement? Was that a statement you want me to answer, or are you gonna keep on talking?
No, I'm gonna keep on talking. I'm gonna keep
Okay,
on
all
talking.
right. I'll go back on mute then. Oh,
Because you just made a statement and you just said that men are fathers based on what they see. I know somebody right now that has children. His father was not a part of anything. He was brought up in the system and raised by a single woman. But I'll tell you one thing, if I know what a daddy look like, it's him. He raises my grandson. There are men out here that have not been fathered, don't know what a father look like, but they know what they don't want in their children's lives. So know basically that you don't have to see what a father looks like or a man looks like, because there are examples. Be what you don't want them to be. So what about the men that grew up with nobody around and are excellent daddies, are excellent providers? And all fathers, let me tell you something. My granddaddy thought because he provided, he was a father. He was an absent parent in the home that provided and was abusive. So guess what? Ain't none of my uncles and my aunties nothing like him. But he was a provider. He worked and he was a hoe too. So that's not, I'm sorry. I'm a woman. My grandmother had 12 kids, 11, all by the same man. And he was an absent father standing in the home, providing, working, and hoeing on the side. We see it every day. That don't make you a father. And I wasn't trying to be funny, nor was I trying to be rude. But you say you learn from an example. And if you have 16 children, then you had to learn that from the example that was provided for you. But you said that. I did.
I'm gonna just keep Deanna. How are you?
Hi. I have like two things to say real quick. The first being, last time I talked to Black America, you said you had like 3 or 4 baby mothers, correct?
I'm just saying, is it okay for me to come off of me now? I know we got some feminism energy in the house. I just I
No
don't want to
diggity.
be getting banged on. Hey, look, you the one come up here with all this energy, baby girl.
I just
I
asked
just
a
come up
question.
here.
I'm not trying to pile on. I
No,
just was
yes, no, no,
asking if
no,
that
no.
was correct.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So, okay, now my next question is, in those households, do all of those mothers work? Or are you taking care of all of those households? 100%.
Um, Now that the kids are older, which are
Well, when
some
they
are
were
your
kids.
age, yet no, they didn't work.
Okay, so you took care of all those households 100% when they were kids.
Yes.
Okay, because I just think that it was kind of unfair for you to say that, a man's job is to provide and he doesn't need to be in the household, because, I mean, my father was not perfect, but the man provided and he was in the house. When I was with him, I was with my dad. I wasn't in the house not seeing him, oh, well, he's working. No. If my dad was working, he was providing, I was with him if I could be. He was being an example of a dad. He was teaching. He was Nintendoing, biking, rollerblading, fishing. He was doing all of that with us. So kind of to say that a man's job is just to provide and not do that is kind of lazy, especially since we don't live in an economy where women can stay home. We know that Black men making 6 figures is not very realistic, or even 5 figures is not realistic. So a Black woman in a Black household with a man is going to have to work, but you still expect her to work, come home and be a mom. Why wouldn't you expect to work, come home and be a dad and raise your kids as well?
Okay, so as far as that, I don't think you exactly understood the context. What I said is your dad is not going to be able to make every football game. Your dad is not going to be able to make every doctor's appointment because they're working. I actually coached 4 of my kids in football. You see what I mean? So it's not that I wasn't there or wasn't there or wasn't present at all. I was very present. Like I said, I didn't lose any of them to the streets as like I was, or in prison like I was. None of them gang bang or did any of the things that I did to make sure that they were successful. You see what I mean? So the example that they seen was me being a good, upstanding person and going to work every day. My kids never seen me smoke a cigarette, smoke a blunt, or have a drink. You see what I mean? So just because it's what they see doesn't mean that, yeah, I never said that I was perfect. I I am far from perfect in every aspect. But what I did show them was the right way to do. You understand a little bit better now?
I mean, ooh, not the double play. I mean, I got a degree that proves that I could comprehend, and I feel like there was some extra added words in it this time. But I mean, if that's your truth, who are me?
Okay. He just said something about he was the I'm sorry, Black American. He was the example for his children and this and that. Let me tell you something. I have my son's cousin is sitting in prison now. Okay. Both of his parents made 6 figures or better. Okay. He never saw his daddy doing nothing either. Nothing. Good dude, wholesome family, all of that. But they come out messed up too. They do. He been in prison since he started in YA. And he had no reason to be out in the streets doing nothing that he was doing. No gang banging, no none of that. They lived in a prestige neighborhood, all of that. And he still was an F up because that's the life that he chose. You can be the best parent in the world. And guess what? Something could always happen because you have free will and you have choice. So your great parenting has nothing to do with the choices that your children make.
I agree with you 100% on that. I totally, absolutely agree with you. My parents were freaking awesome, but just so happened, and that's why we moved from LA to Las Vegas, because in LA we go fast. We go fast. It's just part of the lifestyle. In the late 80s, early 90s, people always talk about Joe Biden and the crime bill. It's starting in 82. All of my cousins that were 20 and 21, including my brother. My brother got killed 10 days after his 21st birthday. We were all doing horrendous things. You see what I mean? So I absolutely understand what you're saying, Corliss. I agree with you 100%. You don't get a disagreement from me on that point at all.
And let me jump in here, Leon. I'm gonna put this up because you kind of keep asking the same question. He says, "How did this become about him?" It didn't necessarily become about Black America. We are just, asking Black America about some of the statements that he has said. And, let's be clear here. Black America is pretty controversial, and he's entitled to that. That's what his opinions, as he always is. I would never ask Black America to be anything other than himself. So it's not that we said, okay, now let's jump on Black America. We're just questioning some of the things he said, if that's okay. And also, Black America, you said something about, okay, babe, something about this, all this feminism energy. Well, you got 2 homeboys up here, you got Donovan, you got Dusty Hotep. They sitting up here watching you, duke it out with these so-called feminists, which we are not. And they ain't said, Pete, they ain't said, hold on, let me help.
I listen.
Well, the reason why I'm not saying anything is because it'd be too much confusion. So I'm just waiting for everybody to get done.
Right. It ain't stopped you before, and then Dusty, you be thugging in the comment section. Now you talk about right.
Well, I don't have that issue. I can't really speak. That's not my issue.
And the whole thing about it, the person in the comments say how that become because I'm the N word they love to hate, just like Ice Cube said. I come
The
spitting
devil is
straight
a lie.
facts.
The
No,
devil is
it,
the devil
it
is
could have
a
been
whole lot.
it could have been either one of us.
That we actually don't hate you, you know, at all. And I've said that to you a copious amount of times. I love and appreciate you, even though I don't agree with a lot of the things you say. I appreciate
Nah,
you.
that's how the sisterhood works.
Not see, there you go
No,
again.
Yeah,
don't
it is.
look. Don't put us in no boat with no other sisters. We roll by ourselves. Now me and D, we can be in that same boat together. But don't put us in the boat with them other bros. Okay?
Mm. Now, how did the conversation become about his parenthood?
Well, I mean, he was talking about. I asked him a question. You know, he says that women need to be face consequences, and that's how we got off on that. You know, and I asked him, well, what consequences do you face? You know, for having 16 children that you cannot be 100% involved with those children if you got 16 children. You just because they didn't all come from the same woman. So that's how we got there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, typical deflection.
Really, sir?
Yes.
Really? Black America. Let me. You were saying something about. I'm not even gonna entertain him. Anywho, Black America. You said something. Where he go? He said that men are held accountable. For child support. Have you? When was the last time you looked at the books? They might have a order. But last I checked, my oldest son's father, when he found out I had even put him on child support, he quit his job. Oh, for real. I'm dead serious. I still got the letter. So I just pardoned him from the child support and kept on moving. My aunt had her son. Her son was taken from her by the courts. Okay, not for anything that she did, but because the father knew the judge and all of them. Okay, he was getting child support just stopped a month ago for a kid he ain't never had. A whole nother woman was raising him, but he collecting child support every 2 weeks. He got a check for the last 15 years. He's 21. Now, once 18 hit, he shouldn't have been getting the money. He was beating on the boy and everything and wasn't even in the same household. So I'm just trying to figure, like him, a deadbeat daddy. And if I could show his arrest picture, I probably would post it because I can't stand him. But he was getting child support and never had the kid. He took the kid just out of spite. Now, what type of dude?
That's sort of anecdotal, isn't it? I mean, that's not a typical situation.
That's Black America. Did you hear me say?
No, that's not Black America. That's me.
I'm talking to Black America.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
I'm sorry. My daughter called. I missed what you were saying, Miss. All I heard was that it was some dusty dude getting child support, never had his kid. That's the only thing that I heard.
So my question is, have you checked the records? See, I got a friend that worked in child support for real. Men get put on child support, but that don't necessarily mean it's coming out as check. You just have an order, and the bill is racking up for all these years until they turn 18 or whatever the case may be, and gaining all this interest, but they never pay.
And let me say this too.
So in that case, go ahead,
I just want to
Misty.
say that, you know, I'm reading the comments. I'm sorry I'm not able to respond to everybody, but I am reading the comments. I keep seeing a lot of people say, well, you chose him. She did. But as I always ask, and I ask Donovan this a lot, y'all, now you got something to say, huh? Y'all always talk about y'all chose to do it. It's like, why don't y'all just, teach choice? Because I agree.
Are we going to the Umar stuff?
Who is raising them, regardless of how can you raise better men if the men are not there to raise them? They are not there. Everybody's confusing 1950s, what our parents went through and our grandparents went through, to the modern day. We've evolved. We're here today. There's a lot of single moms out there doing the best they can. We get that. There's nothing wrong with that. The point is, feminism in its entirety told women you could do it on your own. That's fine. Even though we found that is not true. You can't do it on your own. I can't do it on my own. In general, in regards to relationships, you got to have that other person. There's yin to the yang. Men do this and women do this, and we come together and we become whole. The issue is the father is not there. Regardless if the father is not there, in today, who is raising those children? It's the women in general. Overall, the women are raising the children. So the question we should be asking ourselves is, if that is the case, if what I'm saying is correct, if it's correct, it might not be correct. If women are raising the children, why are they turning out the way that they are, or not being the men that women would desire?
So yes, women do have a responsibility to raise conducive children in society, but then y'all shut y'all asses up complaining about the children that they are producing, since y'all give yourselves and your homeboys a pass for not being there. Don't you utter another word about another child or a woman, the way she's raising her children, since you completely give men passes who are not around to raise those children for
what do you mean? What do you mean by men give other men passes? I just want you to clarify that for me.
Okay, wait a minute. I'm pinching myself to make sure I'm really here, because we're like, are we in a different alternate universe? Because you're asking me, what do I mean? And your homeboy next to me set up and gave men a whole, it's like we're playing Monopoly. Get out of jail free. The women are there and the women are raising the children, and did not admonish the men who are not there. So
right.
That's
We
why
don't have to admonish the men. We know the men aren't there.
You do.
No, we don't.
How are you going to admonish a man for having a child with a woman? That's been happening for thousands of years. That is what people are put on this earth for, is to be fruitful and multiply. That's one of the commandments in the Bible. So how are you going to admonish a man for having a child? It is women who pass the culture along to the children. The culture that they are now passing along is what is bad. It's not that the children are here being bad. It is the culture that is being passed along and being accepted and acceptable. That's the bad part. Now, and that's why I'm saying, how are men supposed to hold other men accountable for kids? And to the point of not paying child support, and it's racking up for years and years and years. I'm gonna tell you something. When I went to prison, one of my kids' mother got mad and she put me on child support. Right? When it was time for me to get out of prison, I had to pay copious amounts of money because I owed back child support. I didn't even know when it's time for me to get out. So it's going to come up to bite him in the ass. He's going to try and get a license. He's going to try and go buy a gun, vote, or something like that. That bill never goes away. So, kudos to her for putting him on child support. And, he will get his in the end. So he will still be held accountable wholeheartedly.
Carlos? You on mute.
I had to put up my church finger. I just have to pull all that. Woo, Jesus. First of all, to the people that said she chose, okay? It's some people that you can know for years that you don't know. This wasn't no one night stand. There's somebody she been knowing for years. People got different sides that they show you, baby, and they can be the representative and the whole demon all in one. And you don't never see that until separation. He was there when the baby was born. He was just, he was wonderful. And he was a whole damn demon. A whole demon. Y'all done made some choices too. You still
Can I?
suffering from the choices that you hold on, Black America. Because people get on my nerve pointing their finger, talking about somebody chose. What you done chose and ain't up here talking about. Because I'm sure you done made some bad choices. You done got learned a few things. You done done a whole bunch of stuff that you probably would never tell nobody. Kids suffer at the end. Period. Both parents need to be there. A woman, now you can go make a baby on your own. We seen the show on Netflix, Surrogacy. You got couples in there trying to have kids, and the doctor over there, the daddy of 40-some kids, 100 and some kids all over America. So people make bad choices. At the end of the day, if you don't want to pay, keep your penis and your coochie to yourself and don't lay. And don't stand up either, because hell, you ain't got to be laying down to get it. We all know that.
Freak mama. All right now.
Oh Lord, this has
No. This is what I was going to say. I was going to say the fact that it was something about you said about separation, and I don't think that women really understand that if me and Demetra are married and D and little D is her daughter, right? Those are now my girls, my women. If we are separated, she no longer means anything to me. She is like a ant on the ground. I don't think you women realize that how little you mean to men, as far as, like, we love you if you're ours. If you're mine and I have access to you, then I love you to death. I'm going to give my life for you. I'm going to kill for you. I'm going to die for you. But if you're not mine and I no longer have access to you, you don't mean anything to me. So one of the problems is you guys think that, and with men a lot of times too, it'll be a kind of like a out of sight, out of mind thing. So if I'm not dating you and you got kids and we have kids together, I've seen this with some of the men that are in my men's group that I mentor, that they just running around like chickens with their head cut off. They don't care. And it's more of a male thing. You guys want us to care about something that we have no control over. Once I have no control over it, I can't care about
it. Black America, my God, today, Jesus. I didn't get to church this morning, but my God, after I get off of here, I'm going to go pray for you. Okay? Let me tell you something. I'm a Black woman standing here. And I've had some relationships, okay? Some many relationships. And I am not with these men. These men got married and some more. Everybody that you separate from, and I tell people this all the time, it don't have to be a nasty situation. And I mean something to these men. If I call them right now, guess what? Wife and all, they coming. That don't go for all men. That go for boys. Because
I want to ask you a question. Can I ask you a question?
You
Wait a minute. Because you said that they were coming. Can I ask you a question? If you called and offered them some tail, are they coming too?
No, sweetheart. Let me tell you something.
No.
I ain't got to offer them nothing. And they ain't get no tail. And they ain't had no tail in over 20 years. I'm gonna be 50 next month. But because they love me as the person I am, even though we did not work out, if I pick up the phone right now, I got about 17 people I can call. And I ain't saying we was all in relationships. Some of them I just talked to. But because I am a good person, I have a good heart. I treated them well. This ain't got nothing to do with no tail. Ain't got nothing to do with no head, no neck, no ears, no mouth, no ass.
I listen, miss. What I'm saying is you are a perfect example of the friend zone.
Okay, but
That's
let me say this.
guys. Okay.
Okay, because we really then went overtime. Lord, Nyaka, how are you doing, Queen? She says, y'all are missing the part where building that culture and instilling that into the life and behavior of the child takes both the parents in today's society and economy. The economy we live in today isn't equipped to allow for one parent to play all parts alone and do it effectively. The issue is men who claim to be the leaders are becoming exempt from this responsibility and have the nerve to complain about how it's being done, even in their absence. And I co-sign that, because that's the point that I was making to Donovan. Y'all blaming the woman for raising degenerate children, and I'm not saying she does not play a role in that. And then out of the same mouth say, we can't hold another man accountable. She's right. Shut up. And as I would say, shut your ass up complaining about the job the woman is doing if you are not present.
And that means even living in the house.
I have a question. Okay.
Can we look at it from the other side?
I hate to backtrack like a couple of minutes back, but I seen a few people in the comments, and someone on here said too that a man can't hold another man accountable. So how, it's a two-part question. How do you blame a woman or a single mother for the way a man is raised or comes up and what he does if nobody can tell a man what to do and another man can't tell anyone what to do? And what would make that man desirable to any woman to create a future with him if he's just out here raw dogging life, a maverick that no one can tell what to do?
Men control relationships.
The hell they do, Donovan. No, the hell.
I heard Donovan stop the bull.
That's a fact.
You wait.
Most men.
No.
Wait a minute. Most men. Most men.
This time that women control the relationship. You have been on record saying that.
Yeah, in the modern age. But here's the thing: men control relationships. You don't see a bunch of women asking men to marry them.
Where you at? Wait a minute, boo.
Mm-hmm.
Now I know you be on social media. Do we need to go pull up all these fools out here on one knee talking about, will you marry me, looking dumb as hell?
Wait a minute. Exactly. No, like I said, these modern men and these new children, whatever this stuff is, I ain't speaking for them. In general, as a majority, men control relationships. Men decide, should I get in a relationship with this person? Should I get in a relationship with this person? A real man does that. Women are not supposed to asking men to be married. That's a fact. They're not supposed to do that.
But that's not what I asked. And even though a man, from what you're saying, a man controls a relationship, I still have a choice in if I even want to be with you. You're going to ask me to marry you. I can say yes or no. But I'm saying if these men are just wild out here, no man can tell them what to do, and a woman can't tell them what to do, why would I want to be with somebody like that?
All right, can I explain it to you?
I was going to say something to you anyway. You got the men's group over there. So tell us what y'all men over there talking about. And let me see.
Hello? All right. Okay, so let me explain that to you. If a young boy, let's say a young boy approaches Donovan in the street, right? And tries to stick him up just with his hands. Donovan is going to give him a well-whooped ass, right? That is a correction being put on that young man that he may never do anything like that again. When I'm coaching football, it's a bunch of mothers sitting in the stands saying, don't work my baby too hard. He needs some water. He needs some Gatorade, because I run them until they throw up.
Okay, but let me stop.
I make them push it.
Let me stop you, brother, because what I love to do, and Al, I'm gonna get to your comment. What I love to do is stay on task here. Miss Corliss asked you in your men's group, will you be mentoring? What do y'all be talking about?
Oh, we talk about it's mostly, it's mostly Christian men, and we talk about relationships. We talk about the things that you don't feel comfortable talking about with your wife, like not having sex more than 3 or 4 times a year, you know, and what you should be doing, and still trying to stay faithful to that woman, even though there are a lot of outside influences. I have people all the way from garbage men to firefighters. And so none of them are bums, or, in military. We got a large Air Force base here, Nellis Air Force Base here in Vegas. So it's not like it's just a bunch of bummy men. We just talk about things. We go bowling, and have a couple of Sprites. We talk about things that men can't talk about with their women, and then we find and try and figure out solutions on how to help them talk about those things with their wife. If you haven't had sex in a year, or you have to try and figure out what's going on.
Let me ask you, Black America, I ain't gonna lie, a lot of people blown away when you said Christian group. I didn't know you were a Christian, so that's news to me. But let's address Al's statement. He says Kevin Samuels even said men should hold other men accountable. Now, on the men on this panel, Donovan, did you follow Kevin Samuels? And I've heard you mention him as the Godfather.
Yeah, he's Godfather. Yep, absolutely.
Did you listen to Kevin Samuels?
Yes, I did.
Have you ever heard him say that men should hold other men accountable?
Yes, he said that.
Black America, did you follow Kevin Samuels?
I've seen his show. Yes.
Did you?
I've seen his show.
Did you agree with his message?
Some things were good. Some things about like dating single mothers and stuff like that, I didn't. That wasn't my cup of tea. But okay. I mean,
okay. So. All right. So all right. Dusty Hotep, did you follow Kevin Samuels?
Yes.
Did you ever hear him say that men should hold other men accountable?
Yes.
So how are y'all off message?
We're not off message. Okay, here's the thing. Just because I heard a man, Black America could tell me something, that doesn't mean I'm going to follow it.
So basically, y'all wasn't listening to the damn thing the man said.
I did listen to what he said. Do I agree with it? No, I don't agree with it.
Once again, men have no code. We don't follow men. Real men do not follow other men. Okay, you have.
Hold on, D. Hold on. Time out.
On the field.
You
sprinkle.
Black America, contradiction at its finest. Like, did you really just say that? You just said when you started talking that you get your direction of what it looks like to be a father from what you see. So is you blind?
That is a child. That's a child.
That is
not a man.
I said men. I said men do not follow other men. So
if you give advice in your men's group, right? If you give advice, if they're following a man,
nobody ever followed.
Because you just said that you guys sit there and tell each other how to stay committed and faithful to your relationships when you're not getting sex and other stuff that you can't talk to their wives about. That's advice. That's somebody leading.
Listen. No, that's not leading. That is talking. That's talking with other men about men problems. If a man can't get an erection, you have to say, hey, okay, so what are you doing? Did you go to the doctor? You can't, if you can't talk to your woman about what's going on in your relationship, she done gained 200 pounds. You can't tell her, hey, baby, you getting fat. I paid you for a gym membership for you. Things of that nature.
Hold on.
What kind of women are y'all dealing with that you can't go to your spouse? This is somebody to have and to hold, to death do our part, sickness and health. Baby, they already know these boobs ain't finna stand up after you had no kids and they just sucked all the life out of them. They gonna hang. Like, come on now. I'm sorry. My uncle and them are married, okay? And I don't know if it's just the people I got in my family, but they sit down and they talk to their wife, except one. We got one ignorant one that just don't know how to act. But I mean, I've seen it.
I'm literally going to go cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Like for real, okay?
No.
Wait, y'all brothers, I don't even know what this is anymore.
But did you hear the term? Did you hear the term advice? Advice you take or leave. You don't. Advice is not an order. It's something that
advice is not leadership.
Consideration.
I think you guys have a weird definition of leadership, and in y'all's mind, it's only one way, because leadership definitely could look like me being an example with my advice and you forming an opinion, either way from my advice. But I gave
exactly
to lead you in a direction, didn't I?
No, that's not leadership. That is not leadership at all. That's not.
So I ain't let me tell you something. Me and my girls, some of my girls do leave me. Okay. Good common sense, very educated. And yeah, they will not just talk you off a ledge, but they can lead you. Demetra has led me in the right direction many a times. And maybe that's what's wrong with y'all men, that you can't take no type of guidance, because people still need to be guided. Even if you're going to be guided your whole life, even as what you call men, because it's called wisdom. It's somebody out there always smarter than you. It's always somebody out there with more money than you. They sit there and they give wisdom, which is guidance, and it's leadership, and that's what it looks like. It ain't over here talking about Black America. Don't tell nobody else you in no Christian group here.
I was just about to say.
Because God ain't even with the Christians right now. He's standing outside of the church, bamming on the damn doors, talking about, hey, Negroes, you done left your wig and all of that, and you still ain't listening to me. You ain't been listening for centuries.
Well,
if you ain't got no relationship with God, you might as well forget Christianity, because there's going to be a whole bunch of Christians. God going to say, I know you not.
Yeah. Well, let me say this. Somebody who knows about leadership. Okay, leadership coming out of the military. I'm the only one on the panel that has a military background. Okay.
Wrong.
Well, I'm sorry, Black America, forgot you were on there. Leadership in the military. It's leadership is what it is, leadership. I don't have a choice to follow a leader. A leader just is. You just can't say, well, I'm going to show you this and I'll put this picture up. And then if you decide, that's not leadership. That's not leadership. Leadership, you don't have a choice. Leadership says, this is what we're going to do. Let's execute. Let's do it. It's going to be done. Period. There's no discussion. There's no, how do you feel about it? Whatever. Leadership is leadership.
You're paid to follow. The military pays you to go listen to your leader and go into combat or not go into combat, because I know you flew.
Correct. But the point is, leadership isn't optional. It isn't optional.
Okay,
so as a civilian, when a man does something or a woman does something, I make a conscious choice to follow. But that's not leadership, because I made a conscious choice.
Let me say this, Kay. Wrong. The leadership does that. Let me put this up here. No, that's a dictatorship. A leadership is you doing such a superb job that people willingly want to follow you, right? Willingly. You are setting the example, but what you just described is a dictatorship. And yes, in the military, you kind of have no choice. So that's a dictatorship. A manager is a difference between a leader and a manager. A manager says, okay, Uncle Sam, these are the rules that you want me to go disseminate to the troops, and they're going to follow because they got Uncle Sam stamped on their forehead, right? That's managing.
Didn't I say military? Didn't I say that?
See, this is the problem. And
it's not the problem. I said military.
But wait, I'm going on your definition of leadership.
From my experience in the military.
She wasn't going against what you said.
Okay, but she trying to make it to where it's a dictatorship. I have 25 truckers.
That's a
I have, okay, I have 25 truckers underneath me, right? I have 25 trucks. I got 27 truckers underneath me. If I tell them they are going to Pennsylvania from California, then they are going to Pennsylvania from California. It's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That is leadership. I can't tell if me and Donovan are having a Sprite. I can't tell Donovan to go to Pennsylvania because he is not under my tutelage. He is not under my guidance. He is not one of my children. I don't pay him. So that
D,
would be advice. It's a
D, go back,
difference.
go back, go back.
This one?
I need to, baby, let me scream it from the mountaintop. Hello, Jesus. It says, you cannot be an effective leader if you are not a good listener and follower. So for all y'all Christians out there that be, y'all godly and holy, y'all got a leader, the pastor. How many of y'all letting him lead you? I'm just saying.
Is that a black woman talking about how many of y'all let the preacher lead them?
I'm sorry. I'm hearing
Yeah,
me.
okay, all right.
What does that have to do?
Hold on. First of all, sir, let me correct you right now. Yeah, I'm a black woman, and I ain't a Christian. I'm a believer. How about that? Let's start there. My partner over here, Black America, said he in a Christian group. So yeah, the black woman, colored woman, caramel woman said something about the pastor because he's talking about he a Christian group. So if you a Christian group, that means you got a leader, partner.
And he's a leader.
For one thing, I don't listen to pastors. Okay. So just because you are a Christian, just because you are a Christian, just like you said, you're spiritual. I don't even know what that means anymore. But just because you are a Christian doesn't mean you follow the same guidelines and rules and that you may think. It'll be like a Muslim. Every Muslim is not Nation of Islam. You have Sikh, you have various kinds of Jews. So it's a little bit different everywhere. Okay, so I understand what you're saying, though. I understand what you're saying.
I grew up Christian, so I knew what it was like to every Sunday, every Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and guess what? They taught us that you're supposed to follow the pastor until I learned better. When you know better, you do better.
No, you're supposed to follow the teachings. And if your pastor isn't teaching, I'm not following what Joel Osteen says. I love Joel Osteen. I love TD Jakes, but I don't follow what they say. I even like some of the stuff that Minister Farrakhan say, but I don't follow what they say. You see what I mean? It's a difference between following a man and following the actual word of Christ.
Wow, I'ma tell y'all.
Hey, D, I'm gonna jump down. I'm gonna listen to the show. I'm finna jump down because I'm finna get back on my bike. I've been sitting on the side of the road an hour talking with y'all. So I love y'all. I'll holler at y'all next time.
Hi, be careful out there.
Can I say something before you end?
Sure.
Listening to y'all's definition of leadership and how it is very blurs with dictatorship, maybe that's the issue in Black relationships. That y'all just trying to put your finger on and dictate instead of leading through example.
Oh, you mean the patriarchy?
Dialogue. No, I said that's not what I said.
You mean the patriarchy, right?
Okay, but I'm talking about men in relationships with women dictating instead of leading.
The patriarchy.
Okay, but is that how you're trying to lead? Yes or no? Like you adding another word doesn't change what I said.
No, I'm just summing it
So
all
you're
up.
just
You
adding
mean the
another word to add
patriarchy,
another
right?
word, but that's not expounding on what I'm saying. So you're being contrary to just be contrary.
No, I'm not.
Then what was the point? If you're not expounding or yes or no or agreeing with
No,
what I'm
you
saying,
started talking about
adding a
leadership
word,
and
what was the point?
relationships. You say maybe that's the problem. It's a dictatorship. Like I said, a patriarchy, right?
How you gonna ask her a question and then answer the question? Let her finish. You saying the patriarchy, right? So you asked the question, then you answered the question for her. So do you want her to answer, or you
Answering the
answer it for
question
her?
with a question. Like, this is not a game of I can out question you. Like,
Huh?
That's what we like, huh?
No, you were articulating a point, and I summed it up
and
by
you cut
saying
off with a question
patriarchy.
instead of
You were
by
trying to
answering
beat
the
around the
question.
bush, and I just came out and said what you meant, the patriarchy.
So that might also be the issue too. Instead of people having a dialogue,
Exactly.
people in the
Feminist. There it
conversation,
is.
adding extra questions on top of questions that aren't even done.
Y'all be killing me. I done had to lay down on the couch with my coat. Look here. Because he over there, this one in the corner with the no face. Father God, help. Help. Donovan, when I see you and I'm still in, I'm going to get you. I'm going to run you right on down the street here. This right here, look, at the end of the day, you have put something up there, and the lady said a pastor is a man. First of all, I wasn't being facetious. Let's start there. Okay. We all know that a pastor is a man. I wouldn't follow a pastor nor a bishop to the bathroom.
But they said they don't follow men either. So what was the point of bringing that up?
Girl, no, that was a lady that said that. But at the end of the day, baby, I done been with a bishop and a pastor. That's why I know you can't lead me nowhere. I can tell, and they was real good at what they did, probably because they did the church. And I ain't talking about baptizing them in no pool.
Well,
I'm just saying,
well, let me just say this before we get out of here. It's been 3.5 hours. Wow. Check this out. Women, you guys have got to understand, and I understand you guys' position coming as women. I get it. But you got to understand, men, we are territorial. That's why we don't agree with each other. I don't agree with what so-and-so said this or so-and-so said that. You know, to me, I could take what I want and go at it. But men, we are very, this is my opinion, and a lot of guys will probably agree with it. We are very territorial about how we position ourselves with other men. I might get along with this guy, but I might disagree with this guy. Do you see what I'm saying? But when a man comes up with an opinion, like, let's say, oh, a man should step up and take care of other men. No, I'm not. Donovan's not doing that. See, so there's my disagreement with that in particular man. We're just aggressive. Men are naturally aggressive against each other. So it's very hard for men to follow other men.
So I'm gonna ask you this question, Donovan, and I'm not gonna say nothing else after this. Do real men, because that's what you said, do real men believe that men should take care of their children? Bottom line.
Okay, here's my answer to that. Definition of a real man is probably different than mine, whatever, but I'm going to say this. Men, real or not, should be taking care of the responsibility that they brought to this planet, period.
Okay.
Okay. So how many times has you given them children that they didn't want?
Oh, hell no. You don't get a pass with that. What the hell? Oh. What do you mean?
How many times have y'all given men children that they didn't want?
The devil is a liar, and so are you right now.
Sir, if you're a dog, you wanted children.
Hold on. Hold that thought. You gonna hold that thought, sir. What's your name? I don't even know because I can't see it and it don't even matter. Anywho, let me say this. When you lay down and you stick your tiny dick, big dick, middle dick, Lord forgive me, in a woman, whether you ski in and outside on her legs, sperm travel. We all went to what's that class we took in junior high school?
Sex ed.
Human sexuality.
Sex ed. Don't you dare ever come and fix your mouth to say that you done had a baby that you didn't want. Then keep your dick in your pants or jack off in the corner. God damn, what's wrong with you? you sound
So,
crazy
so
as hell.
okay.
Tupac
So
said it. You
sex
better go
is
listen
a
to
one-way
Tupac,
street,
sir.
right? We didn't want to have sex. I made you have sex, right?
Dang, nobody can make you accountable, and you're not accountable for your sperm either. Dang.
I didn't.
That's
I'm
why he
asking
need to nut
questions.
in his hand. You should have nutted in her mouth if you didn't want no goddamn kids. Like, knock it the hell off. I teach my sons better than that. And I tell my kids the real. If you
The
don't want
sperm
no
could be boys. He can't be accountable for them.
keep your penis to yourself.
Now you
If
see.
you don't want no kids, don't have sex. Abstinence is the best thing for you. Talking about what if you have a baby and that you didn't want? Well, why you stick your dick in her? Because you knew it was a possibility, didn't
Hmm. And didn't you know the same thing when you
Wait,
open
you?
your
Yeah, I
legs?
knew the same thing. But did you listen to Tupac? Tupac said if you stick your dick in a man,
Oh,
you
don't
want.
stop
Oh
quoting
no, but
rappers.
that's real
Oh,
though. Because at the end of the day, guess what? You can't make us
oh,
have no abortion.
Tupac, really?
wait.
Yeah, Tupac.
My stomach hurt. I done slobbered on myself over here laughing. I really did. Had some
Donovan, look here, y'all. I can't even entertain him over here. I'm gonna do a Gary Monroe. You got to be crazy. Things shitting between two legs. Like when you play dumb games, you get dumb prizes. I hope you ain't got no kids, cause you was the dumb prize. What the hell is girl? You are the example of the dumb prize.
Oh, the what?
The dumb prize. You.
Oh, okay. Oh, so now you're name calling. You're name calling. I'm a black man.
Black
You're
America.
name
Let me
calling,
tell you
right?
something, baby. I know you listening on the road.
I'm gonna wear my victimhood on my shoulder like
No,
y'all
that
do.
ain't no victim. You the one opened your mouth. You opened your whole mouth and go.
But it's the truth.
No, that ain't no truth, boo.
It's the truth.
Nah, you raising some fools. Your mama didn't tell you to keep your penis to yourself if you didn't want no
No,
kids.
she didn't.
Well, she the fool too then. That's
Really?
some BS.
Okay, everybody last word. Everybody last word. What's your last word? Because I swear for God, my stomach is in knots.
Hey, y'all body, y'all choice, right?
You sure damn right.
I mean, that goes both ways.
Really?
Yeah, because you had a choice to not put a condom on.
Girl, he had a choice to put it in her mouth and not her coochie. Like, knock it off.
How are you getting victimized by your own sperm?
Corliss, last words. I'm scared.
Whoever watches this, please don't be like the dude. He's in my right-hand corner with that foolishness. What if I lay down with you and then you just have a baby I don't want? Abstinence is the key for you. Oh, I'm sorry. What they call them in prison? Because they catching a whole lot too. They got blow-up dolls. They got everything. You ain't even got to have a real woman if you don't want no kids. They got some. They got a whole bunch of stuff for you. But he should have never said that. Like, that is what? Y'all have a good evening, because that was just some straight foolishness.
You do the same, boo. Deanna, last words.
I don't have any last words, but I think what Corliss was referring to is YouTube can teach you how to make a hell of a fifi bag if you don't want babies.
Amen.
How did we get here?
You know how we got here. Him over there talking about what, sir? How old is he? Did he tell you his age? Because I need to know if he too. Or if he's in the developmentally mental classroom or something. Did he have an IEP? Was he on SPED? What? The psych ward?
Yo.
Donovan, I'm look, if that's the men, if that's what we got to look forward to as with you men, baby, I'm gonna go find me a toy.
Okay, my last word. Again, we see the difference in the chat. If you guys look at the chat, how men think and what they agree with and what women agree with, which proves my point. We are two different styles of species that need each other at the end of the day. For what you guys lack and what we lack, we come together and we make a whole. So that's just how we're wired, men and women. We just got to accept it, do the best we can, and move on. Those are my last words.
My last words are, this is what it sounds like when the doves cry. Do, 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 do. I mean, I'm not really rendered speechless a lot. We've been on here 3.5 hours. We've had a very spirited conversation. All the viewpoints are appreciated. You know what? I agree with Donovan. We don't agree, but one thing we do need to agree is, let me see, let me put this one off, put this one on. One thing that we do need to agree with is that the black men and women who want to be with each other, we need each other at the end of the day, right? We got to figure out how to make it work. As Brother David, so many hours ago, at this point came on and said, we need cooperation. And that comes from both of us. We need to cooperate with one another in order to get our community off the ground. It's really that simple, right? Corliss, you have something else to say before we get out of here?
No, I'm finna go. I need to fast and pray on that.
Hey, just have a couple of shots, take it straight.
Now, we ain't doing no communion.
But, again, Dusty Hotep, thank you so much for coming on here. It's the first time. He's always in the comment section. And, I appreciate you for coming up. What, Corey?
What is his name?
Dusty Hotep.
I should not have said shit to him with a name like that. My God, today. That just tells it all. Dusty Hotep. Hey. Father God, y'all have a wonderful evening. That just was, yeah.
A week. I can't even hardly sit up straight. I'm gonna sleep good tonight after laughing this damn hard. I ain't gonna lie. But anyway, this has been all over the place, but it was a lot of fun. I love and appreciate everybody. Black America, Dusty Hotep, Corliss, Deanna, Donovan, who else came on here? Buzzer Cam. We had somebody, Keisha, and we had LS, and we had Mike.
Yeah, Mike. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, everybody came up here and gave your opinion. We love and appreciate you. Please come back and see us again on Tuesday. We'll be live, or if not, we'll definitely have our podcast. Lord have mercy.
Well, and once again, it's my Detroit love Moni's birthday. Happy birthday to Moni. You guys, she's going to be celebrating until 2099.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, y'all be well. Have a great rest of your evening. We love and appreciate you guys. Peace.